Hello and welcome to High Rollers. I am your dungeon master, Mark Schultz. No, I'm not doing it. I'm Kim. Hi. And this is a bit different. So today we are doing a Q&A stream. I'm joined by this one.
Hello, it's me.
What's your name?
Chris Trott.
And this one.
Hi there, it's me too, Tom Hazel.
You got a middle name?
James.
James.
No way.
It's James
And there's
Hazel.
your first
That's
question
so
answered.
boring.
TJ from Recess.
Yeah.
I always aspired to be, but I wasn't.
TJH.
I didn't have a hat.
So for things that you didn't know, Lightfall is over. Done.
Dead.
Lightfall's done.
No more. Everyone died.
The light fell.
Light fell, crushed everyone.
We're all
gone.
dead.
But
Spoilers.
So,
oh, actually, hang on. Should we start this off by saying if you don't want spoilers for Lightfall, don't
yeah.
watch this.
Oh, it's going to be super spoilery.
Because this is going to reveal
a
everything.
lot. All
pretty
our
much.
deepest, intimatest secrets.
Yes, like I haven't shit for 3 weeks.
How is that?
It's a lot of Weetabix.
Oh my gosh. So basically, all week we have been collecting questions from you guys. If you've got questions as well, send them in on donations. We will be reading donations live.
Oh, we've only got
so
200 to read out, Kim.
Yeah,
Boring.
there's actually 352.
Oh
Really?
my god.
Oh my god.
It's been one hell of a week.
We will filter in some donation questions.
Yep. And, oh god, my necklace just
So if you
broke
think you
right
have
down my
something
boobs.
that isn't on this 352 strong list, then please send it away. I
There's
will.
some weird ones.
Yeah.
There's lots of
Send
weird
us some weird ones.
Great,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
We want- we
oh
want
yeah,
weird
we need
ones.
more weird ones.
Yeah.
More weird
Just
ones.
really unique questions, please.
Yeah, so Mark will be hopefully joining us after the break. He is currently en route back from London, where he's been
London?
celebrating Nina's birthday. She's
Happy birthday, Nina.
Am I allowed to say how old she is?
Yeah, she said on Twitter. She's
Okay, she's 30. 30's club. 30's club.
3-0.
So yeah, please tell her. And unfortunately, Katie wasn't able to join us today because she's got stuff to do.
Yes.
So yeah, but we have. So basically, I feel kind of bad because I made Mark a massive list of questions because he originally wasn't going to join us, and he sat down friendedly after the LA trip. And just
In a
wrote them
daze
all out. And
with
then he
jet
was
lag.
like, oh yeah, I'm going to come and join you on the stream. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have nagged you so much.
He's a
for,
determined
like,
chap,
all those
so we
things."
won't stop him. But
Right.
we will read out some of his answers.
Yes, we will. And then he'll come and join us. So, anyone got any announcements to make?
Yes.
Dice.
Look at these.
We have a
Holy
camera
crap.
dedicated to them.
I set this camera up just for this.
We
Ooh.
have new plastic dice on the Yogscast
In
store.
this beautifully lined velvet bag.
Yeah.
What do they look like, Chris Trott?
They look like this.
They're quite a smoky. The D20 has a high rollers or an HR crest on the 20.
Are they all in your face?
They are delicious.
That's the only set we have in the office.
Yeah. So you can get them on the Yogscast store. For God's sake.
Is that all of them?
You can put a whole set in your mouth.
I want to go home, Tom.
I'm done. Do you want to?
Can we go home?
All right.
Okay,
see you
it's
then.
over to you, Trott.
Thanks,
We're
Trott.
just gonna go. Bye.
Buy it now on the store. There's a lot of dribble in this bag now.
Oh, that's the only set we
You mean
have.
that velvet-lined bag?
Oh, quality.
It's lined with something else now, Tom.
Waterproof bag.
But anyway,
So yeah,
Plastic
go
dice.
to store.yogscast. They're glistening. .com, and you can pre-order them. They're out on the 15th. So yeah, this is going to be like our kind of base set. I feel like there should be a better term for that, like just not like basic. Like our OG set. I don't know.
they're the big boy set.
Yeah.
Get the big boy set now.
Yeah,
From
so-
store.yogscast.com.
So it's not going to be like the metal dice where they're going to sell out. By the way, the gold Lightfall dice, there's only 25 sets left.
So you need to get them now because they are
So-
not coming back.
Yeah,
I'm about to
those
batch all the
are
20 for
not.
myself, so
Yeah.
Oh.
there's only 5 left.
Yeah, 5 left.
And once the gold dice are gone, they're gone.
Gone.
So yeah, but these will be around, and we're hopefully.
They're cheaper.
Well, they're plastic.
We're
Oh,
thinking of putting
gosh.
together my first D&D set with like the notepad and a pencil and eraser and fuck off. Touch me! I will spit on you, sir. Right, should we answer some questions?
Well, hang on.
Let's get
Oh,
We've got one more thing.
oh yeah.
Make sure you follow @HighRollersD&D on Twitter in the lead up to Campaign 2, which is starting on July 1st, because we're going to be doing...
When?
July 1st, I said that. Because we're going to be doing a nice lead-up with loads of stuff, loads of videos,
We have
loads of reveals.
so many announcements and reveals.
It's
We
a
have
big
Lots
one.
of announcements.
Lots of things to
We're
reveal
very, very excited
in the
for
next
Campaign
couple
2.
of weeks.
And
Yeah.
we got some videos.
We've got some videos. There's going to be a lot of stuff to reveal in the lead up to Campaign 2. So
Yeah.
please follow that.
When?
July 1st. Well, not July 1st. The countdown videos they come
Will be before that.
Yeah.
They'll
In the
be
build-up.
before
and
that.
announcements will be before that. Basically, we have a lot of work to get done in the next 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah.
Well, Mark does. Actually, no, we do.
No, we
I've got a lot of
work.
editing to do.
You've not seen
Tom
the
does too.
spreadsheet.
We've got a lot of stuff to do. So we hope you appreciate it. High Rollers D&D on Twitter in the lead up to July 1st, Campaign 2. Woo!
Woo!
Super hyped.
Should we start with some questions? Because we've got a lot.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's
I
start
think
with some questions and then
so-
end with some questions. And then
Does he
in
have to be-
between,
Does he have to be in campaign 2?
we can have some
Well, that was one of the
questions.
announcements.
Tom's out.
Thumbs out.
Wow!
Right.
Ouch!
So this perhaps, you're not out. This
Hey.
perhaps was the biggest question of them all.
Should we start with that?
Might have had to do, nothing to do with the fact that I'm the one who compiled the document or anything.
She's done a great job.
So the top question is, was there anything interesting in that house with the wisp? And then for me, or what were the animated armor suits guarding?
Oh, okay. So that's like episode 3?
Way
So
back, yeah.
have some
So
context
no,
there,
I
'cause-
died in episode 9.
Oh.
So it was episode 9.
Episode 9.
Wasn't it? Or something like that.
That's all a blur
So
before Tom.
basically, Juto died
Pre-Tom,
Oh, no, I know.
post-Tom.
to animated armor suits.
Yeah, because I watched it all.
And then, yeah, sure you did.
Yeah.
And so the number one question is, what the hell why did I die? Why did I die?
And Mark has answered.
So this is from Mark. This is his DM answer. It was an old noble house from before the Lightfall, a sort of country estate. In the vault
Can't say
guarded
that.
by the armor suits was a few bits of treasure, including a magical item, a hat of disguise.
Oh.
That would've been interesting.
So you died for
So-
something that Cam could have used.
Yeah.
Yes, or could any of us use it?
You ruined
Yeah, I think
it.
all of us could have used
Right.
it, but I think
Yeah.
let's be real.
So yeah, basically, do I feel if that was worth it? What do you guys think?
Magical item,
Your
Yeah.
death was always worth it.
that would have contributed like, I don't know, 50 gold towards the Lightfall, like after the Talisval rebuild.
Yeah, we probably would have.
Because we would have just sold it or put it into
Ken, people are noticing.
Salah's, wait, what's his name?
They're noticing.
What? Oh, that. We'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, cool. Well, that's that question done. Should we go for a player question?
Yeah, Salabalat, that was
Okay.
his name. I forgot about that. We would just sacrificed it to the cube.
So like, yeah, we probably would have lost it, to be honest. We're
Yeah.
just giving it to some homeless dude. Okay, character question time. Could we have an explanation of why each of you chose your class, race, and weapon choice? Cam Buckland, go.
Okay, so I was just going through all of them, thinking, what could I be? I've always played a healer in MMOs, like a priest, so I've always liked being the supportive role. Turns out I'm not very good at that.
I didn't even realise that's what healers do.
Well, as I was going down the classic cleric subclasses, I found the trickster one, and I thought, that's pretty fun. And it's also really different from the other clerics. And I thought I'd also just be a very, very different person from the tropes. So the clerics usually have the massive armor, the massive hammer, and they're up front healing and battling. I thought I'd be sleeker, more stealthy, and more dagger focused. So I literally found the antithesis of a warhammer,
Okay.
which is a little dagger.
Teeny tiny little dagger.
So that's my excuse for being a cleric.
Yeah.
What was your excuse for being a rogue? Because you were level 1 rogue, weren't you?
That was more a suggestion from Mark. It's like, you literally have daggers, you're stealthy.
Oh, okay.
Why not get sneak attack and all the other benefits of a rogue? Because you're doing that anyway. I was like,
So you min-maxed
fair
it?
enough. A little bit.
Okay.
I,
helped you
feel
towards
like,
the end.
Yeah, I feel like as Cam progressed,
Yeah.
he would have started to do these things.
Learned more about the world.
It only took him a
Stab
year.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
technically a few months, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, I think it was like 100 days in game according to High Roller Stats.
Yeah, they've done a solid
My
recently.
favourite website.
They got some good stuff.
Tommy Hazel.
So I mean, it sounds a bit dumb to say that I was only planning a month-long character because I was initially planned to only be there for 1 month.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
kind of
yes.
went for a high tropey character because I knew there wasn't a ranger in the team. I normally like Trot play archers,
I
crossbows,
normally
that
like
sort of
Trot.
thing.
Just stop there.
No, I normally, similar to Trot, play archers and crossbow, that sort of ranged people in MMOs. So I went with that, and I thought, who's like the most wanky hunter of them all? Gaston. And that was basically it. That was
You made it
Yeah.
on Gaston.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah.
But I also like giving my characters really big flaws as well. So that I made him Gaston, who was scared of everything. So that was basically it.
Especially Juto.
I've got more plans for campaign 2.
We're not talking about campaign 2.
We're not talking about campaign 2, but I just want to say that I'm not planning for just 1 month anymore.
Well, we got a big campaign ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Kim.
Okay, me. I don't know why. I went for monk. I must admit, Mark did sort of push me towards monk. He was kind of going through the player's handbook with me. He was like, "Oh, look at this, and then you can do this. Look at the artwork." And I was like, "Actually, yeah, I probably would go for that." I really like tiefling because I don't know. I don't like playing humanoid races.
No?
I like.
I mean, that is a humanoid race.
Well,
but yeah.
but she's purple and horns and a tail. When last time did a human have tails?
I pretty much have one
Yeah.
as Cam.
Oh, I thought you meant.
As Cam.
But yeah, I don't know. I just really was attracted to the whole tiefling thing, the kind of pact with demons that they use, the kind of demonic ancestry and stuff like that. As for weapon choice, yeah, I asked if I could use a guandao because given Juto's kind of more Chinese-inspired background, that suited more than a quarterstaff or a sword or something like that.
Does a guandao exist in the D&D
Real life?
player's handbook? Well, real life, yeah, obviously.
I think
But
does now in some of the later editions.
okay.
But it essentially was a quarterstaff that was reskinned as a guandao. So it's got quarterstaff stats. But I have seen a
got slashing
guandao
damage,
in
though.
other words. Yeah.
Except for the staff, which is bludgeoning.
So there you go. Wizards of the Coast, they watch high rollers and they put the guandao in because of Kim.
Yeah. Because
That's a hot fact.
That's how cool we are.
Did they?
No,
Yeah.
probably not, but it's a hot fact.
Only facts
That
on
is
this show.
that is a Tom fact.
Yeah.
And you're going to be getting plenty of those.
God. The other thing was I used to do a lot of LARP when I was younger, and when I LARPed, my weapon was always like a long weapon because I'm short. I've got short arms. I just want to poke people from
It's
the
the most
distance.
effective in LARP, anyway.
Yeah, and it was really fun tripping my friends up. So I just thought,
Well, you're not supposed to do that.
stick with what I know.
Yeah, I mean,
well-
I've seen some pictures of you LARPing.
I know there's so
Worrying about fire.
It's a lot of fire.
Anyway, that was one fucking question.
you.
360 something to go.
What was the inspiration for everyone's character? Which I guess we kind of touched on.
Yeah.
Gaston for you.
What about like character names? Is that another question?
Yeah.
Or is...
Yeah, go.
They had
So, I
other
mean-
names.
Yeah. So what was how did you arrive at Cam Buckland or Camulus Arun Buckland?
Oh, actually, there is a question specifically about your name-o.
Yeah, that's a different
So-
question, Tom.
Oh
Yeah.
well, I'm just okay. Fair enough. Fine. We'll move
Different
on.
goddamn
I don't want to
question.
add any more questions to this already long list. So let's carry on.
We're 20 past and we're second question in.
Oh
Yeah.
Christ! All right, scroll up to the top. Let's do it.
That's power.
Inspiration for people.
If you want answer, wait. Inspiration.
What is your inspiration
What's my inspiration?
for Reynard?
I think I've done that.
Gaston.
haven't I?
Okay, Gaston.
Yeah.
Gaston
You?
with a flaw. Mine was, shit, I've just gone blank. Pirates of the Caribbean, Jack Sparrow.
Oh, yeah, it literally was.
Yeah, and the
Flynn
Road to El Dorado and Flynn Rider from Enchanted.
I already knew that.
Merged together.
Well, Juto was inspired by Chinese mythology, really. I never really had an actual like pop culture character in mind or anything like that. Although, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I just realised, so I'm doing my annual rewatch of Star Trek Voyager, and we just got to the bit where 7 of 9 appears, and I just realised she literally is 7 of 9.
So subconsciously,
Just like, yeah, so that must have
wanted
been
to be that.
an influence. Like, so, yeah, so 7 of 9, technically enslaved from a young age, because that's when she's captured by the Borg and turned into a
Oh
Borg.
shit. Okay.
And then she escapes in Voyager and is turned back. She doesn't understand humans. She's quite annoyed and frustrated because she's like, well, this seems really kind of, a long way to do something. Like, this is inefficient and dumb. I don't get it. And she's really socially inept. So turns out 7 of 9 was my unintentional inspiration for Juto.
So I didn't realise
Tangled.
we all stole.
not Enchanted, you're right.
We all stole from something else.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your favourite aspect of your character, and what was the favourite thing that you did? And part of this is, what was your character's defining moment?
Oh, Christ.
Man, so for you guys, that's 2 years worth of defining moments.
Yeah, it's tough. For me, I think I liked being a cocky ego man with a bit of charm, a little bit. I think I liked portraying that a lot and winding up the group doing that and winding up Mark.
Yeah.
That was fun. My defining moment was probably the Dimitri storyline, because that was a part where I had to face myself and my wrongdoings, and Cam had to be serious for the first time, and I think that was quite defining for Cam.
I think my favourite moment for Cam, I'm adding another question in again. My favourite moment for Cam was when he gave up his Lightborn.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't like
I think
that.
that's probably... No, okay, fair enough. Ignore that then.
But yeah, for Cam, that was a pretty big sacrifice. But it's for Morella, so it made sense.
Oh,
And it made Mark cry, so...
Yeah, win-win.
much.
There was a question for Mark regarding the Lightfall ability, and will Cam ever get his Lightfall ability back? Mark says no, it's gone. It's all in Myrella now.
It's a sacrifice for a reason. So
Yeah.
Unless vampires
Nope.
don't have any grey, but okay.
Nope.
It wouldn't have any gravitas to it if it just got, everything reverted.
Yeah. So the question was, will Cam's Lightborn ability ever revert to him? And Mark says, nope, he gave it up for Myrella, and that sacrifice means nothing if he gets it back.
Oh, he said the same thing. Nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless
I
Morella
believe the same thing.
sacrifices it. That's what I was going to say. If vampires
Shut
don't
up and tell us what your defining moment was.
So
for
I
Reynard.
really liked episode 1 that I was in, actually.
Yeah.
Because that was when, I guess you weren't there at the time,
Wasn't
but
there. Yeah, you
we
were away.
met in the council, and I was... that was the first time I'd actually played Reynard or had any idea of what he was going to be like. So
Yeah.
that was a very tester ground of what he was going to be. So that crocodile fight, even though I kept reverting to it and saying that he killed the crocodile, I think was very, very typical what I wanted Reynard to be. And I guess the dragon fight at the end as well. The two differences of how he fought the crocodile, of basically only getting the last hit, versus fighting the dragon at the end. Oh man, Reynard.
I got 2 moments for Reynard.
Yeah.
One was when you were fighting the Mecha Tharizdun. Do you remember that?
Oh, what? And I
Oh yeah,
You did some crazy shit then.
I
New
launched into
flight.
the air
Yeah.
and did a justice range from above.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
And
did.
I think I put my sword into the force field to glide up,
Yeah.
even though it was
So you
pointless.
did
That
some
was
very...
pretty
That's when you
good.
first started really experimenting with your...
I think that's definitely what I've always enjoyed about the way you play
Second.
Reynard is your kind of
Yeah, I mean,
it's the way you experiment with things. You weren't just like, I'm gonna shoot poo poo poo. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm
the
gonna
thing, I
use
don't-
the environment.
I don't think Reynard as a fighter would have been just, I'm just going to shoot and keep shooting. I'm going to shoot some more. He would always do it with some flair. And I guess you did the same thing as well,
What?
where sometimes you'd have a spiritual weapon come out and it's just a middle finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Things
to
like that.
flare it.
Yeah, I don't think I pushed it creatively as you did, but yeah, I did some things. Second, to fucking get through the shit,
Okay.
was your visiting your family for the first time. I thought that was an awesome...
Yeah, that was
I-
awesome.
I'll get to that one later because I'm
Okay.
sure that's a question. But
There was actually no questions about your family.
oh, in that case, I had no fucking clue who my family was. I had no plan for it because, again, like I said, month-long character, I was just there to go to Veldebarn and then I was going to be gone. So I didn't come up with fucking who my dad was. I didn't come up with my 3
So
brothers.
Mark came up with all of that.
Mark came up with that. I had one request that I didn't actually go into too much, and that was the Reynard's mum being ill.
Okay.
That was something I was meant to go into a lot more, but never really got the opportunity to. But yeah, all of that was Mark. And that's
And
probably...
did he tell you before the show, or you just went in? Because you reacted amazingly.
That was one of my favourite episodes, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was...
I agree.
I think it was also the episode just after Sol Albalat as well, and that entire thing
Yeah.
where he went off and bought most of Talis Val.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
that was a really, really good episode. I really liked that one. But
Him?
yeah, so Baltir came out of nowhere, and I just...
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. You did some amazing improv there.
Thank you.
As for me, I would probably say not the dying, but the episode after where you guys were all away on a break, and Juto went into the afterworld, Arborea with Guan Yin, and we kind of had this big old discussion about why are you so angry? Why are you an idiot? Like you look at what you've spent this life trying to free tieflings and do these noble causes, and you died to a suit of armor that was guarding a hat disguise. You twat.
That sounds like Mark speaking a lot through that character.
But yeah, I would definitely say that was a defining moment. And I would also say, like, not particularly one moment, but over the course of the campaign, getting to know, like, everyone better. And actually, I think one of my favourite moments was turning to Cam. It was about Crown Rend, and it was basically saying to Cam, I'm scared.
Oh.
And if Crown Rend comes
Vulnerability,
back, and if I can't control him, I need you to kill me. For me, I really enjoyed that, because that was a kind of like, you know, Juto's always had this impression of being really hardcore, really serious, you know, capable. But this one thing scared her so much. She was like, you know, and to turn to Cam and say to Cam,
What's wrong with that?
Cam motherfucking Buckland,
Yeah.
you know, I am scared and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was a really
I think your whole
enjoyable
Crown Rend
thing.
arc was just
Yeah,
amazing.
that was
just the build-up of seeing it slowly take you over and get you more powerful as well, and you were fighting like the benefits versus the absolute worst-case scenario of it taking over your life.
And that was definitely one of the things where I was like, oh my god, Crown Rend, amazing magical artifact. And at first I was like, yeah, punch all the things, speed them up. And then it was like, oh, this is actually gonna
That was cool.
kill me. And actually on that note, we can segue into a little DM question. So this was asked to Mark. If Crown Rend had taken control of Juto, would she have turned evil? What could the party have done to reverse this? And he wrote, ha! If Juto had completed her pact with Crown Rend, I'm afraid Juto would no longer exist and she'd be dead for all purposes.
Yeah.
The party could have used Amaryllis artifact to break the pact or spells like Wish, etc.
We did not have at the time.
So basically, yeah, if I had gone that final level and gone to the dark side,
You would have just been a puppet,
that would have been it.
Yeah,
like
you'd have
Juto
a vessel. For
would have been
Crown
gone.
Rend.
Like, yeah.
Just like Trell. I was going to say, some of my favourite Juto moments was those very, very, very rare moments where you did actually break character, almost.
Yeah.
Or like break from that
Break
really
Juto.
strong. Yeah, because like you didn't do it enough so that it was just like, whatever, she's just breaking character again or whatever. But it came at the right moments when, like, I think I almost died to the dragon and you ran over and then hugged me and it was like, oh wow, cool. She does like me. Or
I saw
when
the pumpkin out of that.
yeah, or when you
I can
cried
see this.
when you cried at the end as well.
That broke me.
I think that wasn't Juto.
Tom likes seeing you cry.
I genuinely think Juto would have cried as well.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in canon, she hasn't cried since the death of her parents. And, you know, I was saying to people that her achieving this unobtainable goal, like in her heart of hearts, Juto never thought that she would kill the real Korak and free tieflings. It was always her aim, but she knew she would never be able to do it. Mm-hmm. So for her to be able to do it, you know, with friends by her sides, yeah, she broke and she was like,
Yeah.
I did
For
it.
the first time in Juto's life,
Yeah.
she cried tears of happiness.
You were banging your wand?
What?
You banging?
Am I banging what?
The girl?
There's more questions about that later. Where do we
go
want
back to
next?
question 3?
Do we want to go? So we can do. There's more. I've split this up into story questions, character questions, individual character questions,
Okay.
and DM questions. So where do we want to go next?
Wherever you want.
Shall we
You're
go?
the moderator.
Let's go for specific. Actually, let's hear a word from our friend
Sponsor.
Tre Lamar Leaf.
Oh, let's.
Oh, after I mentioned him, can I do his voice?
Yeah, you can. So basically, I went
Can
and
you?
I asked.
I don't know why I said that.
I asked Matt for stuff about Tre Lamar. I also went and asked all our guests for what do you think your character is
That
doing
was nice.
now.
I think that's
So we've got answers
Let's
from
do that now.
everyone. So
Let's do
let's
that.
do Trell. So do you want to read his little thing?
I'm
So
not going to do it in his voice
Okay.
because, I mean, I'm not really sure.
One thing that people were asking a lot of was what was Trell's backstory, and everything that's in.
Oh, it's a short
that-
answer.
Yeah, that is from Matt.
So what was Trell's backstory? So I had a look through the old spiel I wrote, and honestly, I'm pretty sure this was all revealed during the whole Get the Mask saga. When the Dalkir
Dalkir.
attacked his little bit of the Underdark, he heard the voice of Dalmir.
That's his patron.
Check that's right with Mark.
It is right.
Okay.
It
Who
is.
basically said, I'll save you, but you have to sacrifice the life of another, and with it, get a shit ton of power to help me destroy the Dalkir. So Trell kills his mentor, who was on one of the who was one of the priests in the temple of Lolth. So after a bit of angst and falling to his knees and crying to the heavens, he was told to bugger off to Talasval in search of what was revealed to be the Mask of Many Eyes. Basically, Trell killed an old dude to save his ass, get some powers, go on a quest to get a bejeweled gimp mask, and go back and wipe out the Delkir and be heralded as a pretty awesome dude. Shame he ended up becoming a devil or whatever.
This is verbatim from Matt. Like,
So Matt.
So I think that's about it. Do stress, though, that killing his mentor wasn't just a meh, fair enough, stab moment. He wanted to do it really. Maybe the old git told him to do it. Do it! Save yourself, my boy.
my boy.
My boy.
Yeah.
Git. That's so Matt.
Yeah. So that is word from Matt. And the second question that he got a lot of, would Tre Lamar enjoy his tenure as a servant as Asmodeus? Because for those of you who have seen the finale, well, you know what happened to him. He's now down below, serving up Satan.
I mean, I don't really know what Asmodeus thinks. Sorry, really shit pun. Carry on.
So, would Trell enjoy his tenure as the servant of Asmodeus? And here's the answer from Matt. I reckon there's very little of the old Trell. I reckon there's very little of the old Trell left now. Now that he's a demon or whatever. Sad smiley face. But the small part of him that remains probably misses his freedom and his friends.
Oh.
So
And that's
yeah.
all trapped away.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
awful.
Ultimate
Yeah.
power, though. Like,
And that was a question for us. Would we go and get him back, do you think?
I think
I mean,
probably try.
I think it was pretty
then I've got a kid
solid
to look after,
that we
so-
wouldn't know how to, or it'd be impossible.
If
Wasn't
there
it?
was a way, we probably would.
Well, there's things like we know Lady Amy, and Lady Amy can send us to the various planes. And I don't know, like Juto learns astral projection, but I'm not sure if that enables her to shift planes. But I don't know if it was enough. It would be enough to get there. But maybe.
I think
Do you
Cam would.
think we ever would have gotten to level 20? Because like we ended on
Well, we
what
haven't
level?
died.
No, I know, but
20 's
but
like God level.
we in 3 months we obviously did like 1 to 15 or whatever
Yeah.
it was. But like after that, was it all peace? Did we ever have combat? Did we ever do anything like that? I know.
Oh, I imagine, because there would still be like combat in trying to settle Brasaris down. And
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
guess,
not
yeah.
perfect peace.
the world
There's-
isn't like,
As Mark says, there's still threats.
Yeah, I guess. But I'm just wondering, would we have then, like after that campaign, would we have then retired to do our own little things, like you becoming a?
Well, I'm
was
still
it?
fighting technically because
Okay, yeah,
I'm still.
Man, I just sat back in Greybell and just did
I mean,
fuck all.
but the
for
thing is,
5
you
years.
don't get XP just from fighting.
No, true, I know, but
You get it from other stuff as well. Anyway, shut up. More questions.
Yes.
Let's do some DM questions. Chris Trott, read away. So these are questions that were sent to Mark, and here are his answers.
All right, so we got asked, which session surprised you the most? Did the players do anything that surprised you and left you scrambling? And he responds with, I don't think there was ever a session that left me scrambling, except maybe Juto's death.
so
I
professional.
hadn't expected it so early, but luckily I knew about the Fae Spirit in the Greenwood was a possible solution. Okay, so he was always prepared,
Yeah.
mostly.
Scary.
He's on the ball. Since the campaign originally was only supposed to be a few weeks long, this is a new question. Where in the story did you initially expect the party to get to? Was reaching Talasval initially the end goal? Whilst I didn't expect the stream to last long, maybe a few months, I don't plan campaigns out completely like that. I created the world and then had a few plots going. I knew the Broken Sky and Falania would be an antagonist, but really there were never hard end points. You just had some strands with which you could go down if you wanted to, I assume.
Yeah.
Created some threats. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it as well.
Do you want to
Don't lock yourself down.
Read out the third point, and
Yeah.
then we can go back to some character
Yep.
questions. That one.
How much of the campaign did you have planned before the first episode in terms of plot was asked, and he says, surprisingly little. I had a very loose world history, the area around Tallfield leading up to Briarcrest, and then some information about the Dawn Republic, the Unbroken Empire, and Braceras. So we had the Unbroken Empire and Braceras.
Yeah, that's some pretty
mind.
big ones.
Apart from a few antagonists, nothing much else. Everything else was developed over time. So we had those whole place in mind. In shit.
Yeah. let's do some character-specific questions, starting with Reynard.
Oh, my favourite one.
So, Reynard, at the conclusion to the campaign, many people sent in donations and wrote about how the campaign had positively affected them. The cast looked quite overwhelmed in the moment. When you joined the group as a full-time member, did you realise at the time what you were getting into, or did High Roller's influence come as a surprise to you?
Poor man. Oh, that's a big boy question.
Yeah,
I
that's a
honestly
serious
thought
question.
halfway through the question was going to be, the cast looked overwhelmed. You didn't. What the hell?
You look dead inside.
Yeah. I don't think anyone expected the finale or after the finale, really.
No.
Like, nobody knew the influence it had. I obviously definitely didn't. But, I mean, you've been doing it for 2 years, so I guess you had a better idea. But even then, it was a surprise to everyone, what came out at the end of the finale from everyone, all the support and all the love. It was great. It was fucking good.
So
It was
you
real
didn't-
good.
Like a drug, right?
But that aside, like the big kind of generosity and donations and stuff like that, did you kind of have an idea of the community that we had, or like, you know, the fan art, the kind of crazy questions, and like, you know, the dedication?
I knew there was a big, a following to it. I didn't know it was nearly as big as it was, or how much it meant to so many people. So, if I did, I probably would have been a lot more terrified in the first episode, because I know how much.
You went in a bit blind then.
Yeah, I know how much Lightfall means to people, so I would have been a lot more terrified of me just coming in and then completely fucking it up.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I'm glad that despite the dedication and care that everyone has for the world, they were still nice enough to allow me to fuck it up.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that's is that
think that's
happy
a
with
good
that?
answer.
That's a good answer. And I'm going to interject, because we've had a hundo
Oh shit.
Whoa!
from...
Lee Smeag.
Yep.
He's
I'm
one
a
of my
year.
community dudes.
I'm a year plus behind on VODs, yay adulthood, but I always enjoy watching it. Also, I found some friends to RP with. So far, we ignored any campaign and stayed in the city to become slumlords. My character likes to strip our enemies and gives the clothes to the poor.
That's very cool.
kind of weird.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. I'd do that.
I didn't know you knew about campaign 2.
What?
gonna strip the enemies.
Yeah, that was our MO.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Guess the
Gonna
thank you
have to
very much.
rewrite
for
the
that.
entire thing now.
Thank you so much, Lee Smeag, and it's
Frickin'
nice
hundo.
to see you pop up again. Hi.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Feel free to send in questions via donations. We'll throw them in.
Yeah.
We will slip them in there. Right, Cameroon Buckland.
Oh shit.
Did Cam ever see himself? Did Cam ever truly see himself as heroic? And I seem to recall earlier, Cam was using his wit and humor to cover up that he is a broken person with a tragic past. Did you ever feel he truly showed that side of him to the other members of the party?
I don't think he ever felt he was heroic. He always put on a front, and he kind of faked his way to make it. And I think he always feels that way.
Yeah?
He will never show it, apart from to his close friends. Obviously, when he was broken, certain points, like with the whole vampire thing, he was a bit broken then. And also with Dmitriev, he kind of showed like the vulnerabilities. That was like a really early, I think it was episode 1 actually, when we were coming out of Tallfield, where he looked at the dagger and he showed a bit of, vulnerability then. But apart from that, yes, he did not believe he was heroic in any way, and he kind of played up to the part. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think after the campaigns ended and we did all this amazing stuff and crazy stuff like actually killing Felania and defeating the Broken Sight, do you think a little bit of him would be like, yeah, I have earned this. I am.
I think he's extremely proud of the group and what they've achieved and what Talis Val's achieved, and I think he just feels like a cog. He doesn't feel like a fundamental part.
Do you think he has a little bit of imposter syndrome?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cam absolutely has that.
Okay.
And he just puts on a front and just laughs. He's the Joker. And it's like everything's a joke, even in the serious times. He doesn't want to face the reality that not everything is great for him.
On that note, we've mentioned
very sad.
Dmitriev a lot and Cam a lot.
Yeah.
So remember,
What's up?
we were just having a serious moment, yo.
Yeah, welcome.
Jeez.
Mark has
Guess who's
joined us.
back?
Where am I sitting?
I don't know. Fucking.
We'll shuffle up a bit.
Scoochie boochie.
Nickel Finn?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a microphone.
Whoop.
Oh, we probably do.
We were about to give them a hot answer that they all wanted.
I'll just sit back
folk.
a bit. Fuck it.
No, don't touch me.
Steve's gonna
Oh,
really
he's
enjoy
really
this.
Sweaty.
It's,
I'm super
Sam.
sweaty.
Really sweaty.
We got Sam today. Yeah.
Why are you running?
We didn't run, it's a muggy fucking day.
I guess.
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Happy birthday,
Birthday.
Mina.
Mina's here.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy
Here,
birthday.
squeeze in. What? Don't sit back like a.
Well, as long as the
Weirdo.
lights are on me, no matter.
We were just talking about Cameroon Buckland having imposter syndrome.
Right.
Especially with, and you know, kind of hiding about things, especially about Dimitrov.
Putting
which
on a
was
front.
going to lead us to Folk,
Right. Okay.
played by Martin.
Okay.
So basically, I asked Martin what he thought Folk would do, and would Folk ever forgive Cam? Because when Folk left, it was about the time the Dimitrov thing happened, and he left on a bit of a kind of whoa.
Yeah.
This guy's not who I thought he was,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
like he looked up to you, and then he was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
We have an answer from Martin, do we?
yeah, we have a legit answer from Martin, and
Excellent.
so this is what Martin says. He says, I think Folk for sure would forgive Cam. I think though through Folk exploring the world, talking to different ambassadors, fighting in a few battles and gaining more life experiences, he'd have come to realize that Cam's past could have been out of circumstance rather than evil. Plus the fact that Cam went above and beyond to help Dimitrov move on means he's grown as a person, and Dimitrov must have forgiven him to be at rest, so why shouldn't Folk? As for the look, that's still a work in progress.
That's funny.
No further comment.
That's fine.
That's awesome.
That's before your time, baby
Before my
boy.
time, so I'm just going
Time.
to laugh along.
I was teaching Folk how to, woo
Sex the ladies.
women,
Oh, right.
and I was teaching him the look.
Man, didn't need to teach. Oh, Rainy.
No,
Well,
it's true.
No, it's a lost cause. So.
Oh, actually, there was a little bit more from Martin as well that I forgot to
Oh,
add to the document.
wow.
But I said,
Aren't you a bad person?
Carry on, we've got so many questions.
so he said, I'm not sure
Destroy the
Folk.
stream.
I'm not sure Folk plans to settle anywhere until he's significantly older and physically slows. He'll continue his work at the embassies to make big changes and manning the streets to make those small changes along the way. His goal has always been to unite people the world over, regardless of species, race, background, whatever their differences may be. Who knows though, maybe he'll flash the look at the right person someday and they'll convince him otherwise about travelling around so much.
I like that. I like Folk being an ambassador and working with Talisman and
That's
stuff.
cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Would you
Thanks,
like some
Martin.
DM questions?
Sure. Swing him. Swing him at me.
Swing them at you.
Swing 'em.
I do feel bad though because you technically have answered this whole massive document.
That's fine. I'm here now. I didn't think I was going to be here. We left a lot earlier than we were expecting, so.
You made it.
Let's smash them out then. Were there any areas, arcs, or ideas in the world that you wanted the players to dive into more, but the campaign never led them in that direction? If so, could you elaborate?
So, not really. Here's a secret, and I don't know if Kim's read out any of my other answers yet so far.
Couple.
Yeah.
But a big thing that a lot of people have this understanding of is that I had this crazy detailed world, and it was super detailed, and all this information was there. No.
Yep, there you go. Secret number one.
Secret number one. A lot of what happened was the only stuff I planned in mega detail was Torfield, Talis Val. I had ideas about Brasaris. I had ideas about the Unbroken Empire, and I had ideas about the Troubled Lands. And that was it. Like, even world history, I knew the Lightfall happened. I knew there was a war between demons and dragons. That was it. Like, I didn't detail anything else. So everything, as you guys went to new areas, like during the week, I would just fill stuff out and be like, oh yeah, I'll add some more detail to Tansval. I'll add some more detail to Velderban. I'll add some more detail to First Light, blah, 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 blah. First Light I did have a bit more detail on, actually. I wrote quite a lot on that. But yeah, so there really wasn't anything that you guys never got to that I'd planned loads in advance. I do think it would have been cool to wrap up the Elven Spire stuff, because obviously there was, I kind of threw the Summer Spire in at the last minute, but we never got to see them, we never got to see the Day Spire, we never got to see the Spring Spire. So that would have been cool to show those off. And then also the Unbroken Empire. It had very loose ideas, but it would have been very different to the Dawn Republic. It's kind of like communist Jedi
Well, you mentioned
Asia, like,
young
sounds
emperors, like,
yeah, so the idea of it, so the Unbroken Empire, one of the big things in that is that they were basically, after the Lightfall, a bunch of people who just went, the gods don't care about us, why should we worship the gods?
Yeah.
And then this young girl, was basically burned. She was attacked during like a big raid on a town. And she comes walking out of the tavern and single-handedly like decimates like these huge bandit hobgoblin armies. This 14-year-old girl who'd never shown any powers before just comes out like punching dudes like basically like a demigod. And so everybody's like, holy shit, and she's just like, the gods aren't the answer. I found the answer. It's this thing called the path. It's a way of teaching you.
Yeah.
And it's like this epiphany, this kind of like
Holy
came out
crap.
of nowhere. And so she gets risen up to almost a deific position, and so that was a lot of the conflict in that region was, well, you say not to worship the gods, but this
But
church is
worshipping you,
basically worshipping her,
Yeah.
even though she doesn't want them to.
Okay.
So I was going to have it that you guys were going to work for her in trying to deal with some of that, because there was obviously going to be very zealous, very sort of like, fervent religious
Yeah.
elements that were probably trying to do bad stuff.
Told you guys we should have gone to the Unbroken Now.
Yeah, Mark barely plans at all.
Yeah, barely plans at all. The one thing he does
That,
plan...
what I just described there, was like 3 bullet points, and I've just explained it in a way that makes it sound way more detailed.
There you go. That's
Nothing
the
to
art.
work from there.
The art of a DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little seed.
It's like taking a bullet point and then being able to go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, on that
Extrapolate.
note, so another question
Yeah.
was, what do you think was the weakest part of the campaign, and in retrospect, how would you do it differently?
So I was really thinking about this because I looked at the document. I don't think there was one. Like, I can't think of a point in the campaign that wasn't fun.
If you haven't watched it, it was all gold.
Well, not,
All gold.
I wouldn't say all gold. There were definitely parts which I thought were great and like really stood out. But there was never a point in the campaign where I was like, no, this isn't very fun. Like, oh, I should have done this instead. Like everything, and it was mainly because you guys just would take something and run with it.
Yeah.
Like when you guys first get to Talis Val, you're like, we're going to try and infiltrate the Broken Sky. That was a lot of fun. After that, it's dealing with the consequences of that and the assassination. Oh, we'll go to the Underdark. Oh, that ended up being a load of fun. Doing the stuff in Velderban and like the town with Reynard and stuff like that ended up being a load of fun. Like there was never a point where I was just like, oh, this is a bit boring, or like, oh, this is kind of rubbish.
You struggled a little bit at one point about the Broken Sky, because you were a bit like, I'm not sure like what to do or where this is going, or kind
It was
of...
more like just trying to keep in my mind what Falania and that were up to.
Yeah.
And you guys were off doing the Underdark stuff, and I'm like, what would they be doing in this time?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, she's pretty manipulative. She'd probably start infiltrating the city in other ways. And that was an early idea for the like abducting the Lightfall kids. It was an early idea for like the roots underneath the city using the old catacombs and stuff. And so even those points where I was like, I don't really know what to do, there was never a point where I thought it was weak. The campaign wasn't fun for either the audience or for you guys as players.
That's fair.
Cool.
Let's go over to...
Maybe a very arrogant answer.
I agree.
I
can't think of anything that we
Yeah,
played.
can you guys think of any bit? Like,
like you
quite
say-
honestly, were there any points where you were like, no, this isn't very fun?
I think you give us a good springboard, and then because there's so many of us giving new things and infusing it
always
with
something
different ideas.
going on.
I mean, we wouldn't do it if it was if we didn't think it was fun anyway.
Yeah.
So I think
I do it for the money personally.
Yeah, I mean,
Same. Yeah. Let's go to a...
I'm not going to
If that's
say
the
that's
case,
a joke.
I'm going to retire from High Rollers and go join Crit Roll permanently now because.
Don't do
Oh,
that.
don't
That
do
Oh,
sounds
that.
too real.
Hey guys, I'm going to be Kelly from now on. How you doing?
I don't know.
Fine, we'll do
Yeah,
fine without
I mean, you could definitely do that.
No, I couldn't.
Right. Let's go to a fun question now.
Yeah.
This is for everybody. Which combination of characters did you enjoy the most when they ended up together? So basically,
Which ships?
romances.
Yeah, which ships?
Which ships do you sail? And that includes all the NPCs.
Cam, and there was an old cougar in a
The council, the council lady. What was her fucking name? I've got it in my iPad. I should go get my iPad so I've got all my notes. But yeah, she was one of the council members that was very
Ding
much
dong.
eyeing up Cam.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong dell.
Right.
What about you, Tom?
Sorry, I've just seen a clip that's just come up of Tom wants his boys knocked around. I think I remember that one, but I think that kind of answers the question as well. I mean, it's got to be Reynard and Grunks.
Yeah.
I must admit, that's one of my favorites as well.
it's very
it
wholesome.
was so unexpected, and like,
Nice.
yeah, where did it come from?
It was nice.
Where did it come
That-
from?
It was, and this ties into one that you are. It's one of my answers I wrote down, where they were asking me like, "Oh, who was an unexpected NPC or an NPC you didn't think that would be a
Yeah.
big deal?" And it was like Grunker, because she was literally thrown in as like, I need somebody to be a captive that can give them information.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cool idea, maybe like a half-orc woman who's kind of a bit of an outsider, but she's like made her way up in the military. She gets captured because the Vesuvius is a perv, and it's like doing weird stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, that'd be kind of fun. It'd be interesting to see how the party deal with that. And you guys like got on with it. I was like, okay, yeah, she's a big, strong, tough, half-orc lady. I figured that you would be like, oh fuck yeah, she's cool. But then the fact that Reynard was like, ding dong, hello.
I think it was.
I was like, oh,
And that is the question
okay.
for you, Tom. What attracted Reynard to Grunker?
When she called him a pretty boy, and then Reynard replied, "Pretty boy," and she immediately, I think you straight away she then blushed a bit. I
Yeah,
think.
because she wasn't used to it. Like she's a big half-orc, super strong lady.
And I think for Reynard, I think his initial thing, I think one of the first things he said with the episode he came in was that he, what was the line? I had a very specific line for it. It was something like, his name is screamed by fans and ladies alike, or something like that. And that's just not true. Like,
Yeah.
he is terrible with women. So when Grunker is just immediately like,
Pretty boy.
Into him.
maybe he is a pretty boy, and it's just kind of like, oh shit.
Aw.
Okay.
So I think that was what
So it
sort
kind of fed into his awareness of his own sort of.
his failings and also his ego too.
Yeah.
So I think, that was just. Again, I just didn't expect it to excel as much as it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
But then,
I must admit, there is also a thing of like when fans really get into it, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting on board on the
boy.
ship.
Yeah. Man, I was on that train. I was
Yeah,
the conductor.
me too. Me too.
And also, would Reynard and Grunker have children? And if so, what would their names be?
I'm not going to say. His story ended when he was on one knee.
There you go.
Don't want to.
What,
I don't want
just
to.
died?
They died there.
But maybe you can decide.
I don't want to say anything because otherwise it becomes canon. And I want.
Yeah.
I want it to be like that. That is the end of his story. Whatever. If he has children, that's up to you. If he names them, whatever he names them,
That's very
up
much
to
my
you.
philosophy and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Like from now on, the story for Reynard is in your hands, not mine.
So on that note, and this question came up a lot. I was going to ignore it, but I
Okay.
literally saw 10 versions of this question.
Okay, I think I know which one it is.
During lovemaking,
Oh wow!
how does the
Wow.
whole tusk thing work?
So I saw that one very early on. I've already got an answer. Kind of like a bop it,
A
where
what?
it's like pull it, twist it,
What?
spin it, like tug it, stroke it.
Please move on to the next question, Kim.
Cam
this is too awkward for
Buckland.
me. This is too awkward for me.
Did Cam ever
You're
find
out. You're
out about the
done.
room that he was left on as a baby?
No more love interests for you.
Because
sorry.
you're Cam Aroon, so you were on Aroon.
I literally put my middle name because it was a pun. He was literally Cam on a rune Buckland. That was it.
So was there a Aroon?
There was a rune on
Okay.
it, but I just did that as like flavour.
Okay.
So no.
It was actually something.
No.
It was something that I think you put in for me to maybe do something with, and then I just never did.
I think so.
It
Yeah.
was just like,
Well, there's so much other
shit,
stuff.
yeah, it wasn't a rune.
Yeah.
I just never thought. I was like, where did Cam come from? Like, I
Yeah.
had some vague ideas,
Yeah.
but nothing I wanted to commit to.
I think that's kind of cool though, because it's like a mysterious thing.
Yeah.
Like.
Not every.
We
This is,
don't need to have the answers to everything.
Exactly, and this is a big thing for me. Is like I don't like answering everything.
Yeah.
Wrap up the main threads, but leave a couple for people to think about.
Yeah.
I do have a
Develop on.
definitive
Go on.
answer. He was just like Anakin. He was born from the Force.
On which note, who were Cam Buckland's parents and did he ever find them? In
The Force.
brackets. In Cam's dream in episode 23, Evandra tells Cam that one of them still lives, and if he did find them, how would he react?
Oh shit! Whoa!
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So one of your parents is still out there, apparently.
Damn. You probably forget. Cam would probably forget.
So you haven't got anything written or no
Nope.
plans, nothing.
Nothing.
You got nothing.
Nothing.
Likewise.
Nothing. Where should we go next? We got general thing.
Are
of
we
like-
doing donation questions?
Why don't
as
you
well?
read some donations and I will
Alright,
find
okay.
another question.
TV Max Games donated. Thank you very much. Hey peeps, love the stream. By the way, Kim, still subscribed on your Twitch. I'll never unsubscribe. That's very sweet.
Bless you, my child.
Thank you very much.
TV Max Games!
Professor Oakley, thank you very much. Generous donation. I'm just donating to say thanks, guys, for 2 amazing years of High Rollers. Question for all of y'all. Bar the party's close friends, who are all y'all's favourite NPCs?
I really liked Cass.
You like Cassandra?
I really, really like Cass. Man, she was great.
Something about...
Yeah.
It's a common theme with Mark Humes and his NPCs. Lots of strong women.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really like Cass. I really like Korak or Adric. I mean.
Yeah, I like Adric. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say that he's a close friend. Was there
Okay,
anybody else?
okay.
Knick-knack?
Knick-knack?
Yeah.
Was he the king or the prince? I can never
Prince.
remember.
He was the prince.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was trying to woo Allura. That's so good.
That was one of my funniest dumb subplots.
Yeah.
Like where I was just like, fuck, what would these kobolds want from you guys that can get their help? Marry that one.
The little soot creature thing that you created.
What, in Dead Reckoning?
That,
Yeah.
no, it was not that one. There was one
Soot
that like
creature.
followed Trell around for a bit.
What? Like, I genuinely don't remember this.
Yeah, you sure that wasn't Dead
Oh,
Reckoning?
maybe.
In Dead Reckoning, you had Soot, the homunculus. You had like,
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Yeah. That was
Dead
Dead
Reckoning.
Reckoning.
My bad.
Yeah.
yeah, because that was he was like, buy Soot and gave it to Katie to Malice, and as he gets dragged off into the plane.
Oh, I mean, this was a Lightfall Q&A. No spoilers for Dead Reckoning.
Don't give a shit. It's over. Go watch it. Go watch it on YouTube right now.
Watch Dead Reckoning.
Not right
I
now,
loved it.
but I really liked Sferio and Saito as
Yeah,
well, and
Saito's
Eneran. Eneran.
There's a
Loved
lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Salabala. I really like Salabala.
Salabalat, yeah.
Some really good NPCs.
You said in your little written thing that you. No, wait, that's levels. Ignore it, actually. Ignore
Right, wait
that
for another one.
question.
Deep Boy donated. Cheers for 2 years, getting me into a great community in D&D in general. It's been pretty fun. Thank you very much.
Deep boy.
Deep Boy.
Boy.
I'll answer this one quickly. Schmivers has donated. Schmivers. Salar the Lovebird would love to know what happened to the greatest djinn in all the planes. You know, the Amazian merchant he was named after. So I did think about this. So he died during the attack on Talos Val. But he's a djinn. He doesn't actually die. He just goes back to his home
Yeah.
plane. However, the problem is his home plane. His wife can find him there because that's where she found him. So the idea is that his ex-wife basically, he's like, oh no, I've got to get back. And then his wife is waiting for him and is
Just
like, right.
tapping her foot.
Like grabs
yeah.
him.
He walks through the
chains
door,
him.
she
I
sat
like
on
the
an
idea that she
armchair.
like chains him to a new item, so like a new gin bottle, because he was free, and she's like, right, you're staying here now.
Damn.
And that's it. That's what happened. But then
Wait.
that's also he was the one who refused to leave. Like he was the one that you guys were telling him, oh, a war's coming, you should help, and he's like, no, I'll be fine.
A profit from war, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
I think we should go to whatever happened to Jasmina. So that was Kat's guest
Okay.
character.
You've got answers for
so
these, right?
this was linked in actually with Folk. So we, because I was kind of talking to her about this, and in the conversation, she came up with the idea that because Jasmina technically she was with us when we were being chased by Dimitrov the Revenant. So we've got Folk who was with us when the whole Dimitrov thing happened.
Yeah,
And then
and
we've got
then Jasmina was there
Jasmina
when the
when we had to deal with the consequences. So yeah, she says Jasmina would have passed on the news about Dimitrov the Revenant to Folk, who she thought was very burly.
Nice.
So in some ways, she's the reason why Folk finds out about what happened with the
that
Revenant.
works. Yeah.
Okay.
After the Burning King got her, she got her cart fixed, went back to selling enchanted jewelry out the back of it, met a troublesome homeless tiefling named Monday, gave him a place to sleep, and after
Tuesday.
helping her get over her fear of fire, they fell in love and are having their own adventures.
That's nice.
And
On
she
Wednesday.
said, by the way, I'm not gendering the love interest. It's more fun that way.
Oh yeah, nice. I like that. That's
And
really cool.
She did add a little bit more in another email. Oh, but yeah, we kind of came up with the idea that basically after everything's happened, that she would cross paths with Juto and Yuan Yang, and just hang out for a bit and catch up
Yeah.
and just be like, hey.
Probably sell stuff in Brasaris
Yeah.
with new trade routes opened up.
Yeah, so
Nice.
she's supposed to be traveling around,
That's nice.
yeah, selling stuff up.
you
So
go.
that's Jasmina. On which note, I think we should do a quick fire whatever happened to
All right.
round.
Hit me.
So
Oh, wow.
Hit me with the
these
NPCs.
were all for NPCs and the inevitable ones.
Okay.
So I literally put them all as bullet points because
Yep.
there was a lot of.
I
whatever
know. I
happened
remembered
to.
answering them.
I'm explaining to
I
my
know.
audience who can't read my magical document. Right, whatever happened to Hank and Melody from New Light?
They would likely set up a small tinkering shop in Talsval. Likely, maybe doing a bit of research into First Light now and then. Maybe helping bring about a new age of technology to the Dawn Republic.
Nice.
Whatever
Alive.
happened to Thariz Dunn?
He was a spectator, which is a very minor creature. It was not a beholder, a full beholder. Is likely killed by Durgar in the Underdark because he's mad and likely attacks them at some point. So they send a small force to butcher him. That's the serious, realistic answer to that question.
Dead.
What about his
Dead.
friend Bahamut?
He was literally insane.
He was insane.
And he was like a CR4 encounter.
But does his imaginary friend live on?
No, he's dead.
Whatever happened to the Burning King?
Burning King. I imagine that he would have been, so he controlled a large bandit force which fought alongside Falania's troops in the battle against Talis Val.
Dead.
I like the idea that he was killed by Gregor the Fire Giant to basically take control of his forces. Like, he was like, you're gonna pay me. The Fire Giant's like, ha ha ha, yeah, we'll pay you. Now you're armed. Now the rest of you do what I tell you or I'll kill you too.
Dead.
2 dead, 1 alive.
Dead.
Whatever happened
Who
to
remains?
Captain Bunghook?
Who fucking cares?
That's
Dead.
actually what he wrote.
That's literally what I wrote because he was a minor monster that I named Spare of the Moment. He's probably dead.
Dead. 3
Whatever
dead.
happened to Reeler and Evely, the 2 little halflings we fought?
This is the Jesse and James ripoff that I did.
Yeah. So they were with us when we first
Oh my
met.
God.
Dimitri.
They were in
Jesus.
Tallfield with the Dimitrov thing.
Yeah.
Ages
ago.
They stop working for the Broken Sky and try and capture small magical animals and sell them to a new boss, Giovanni.
Giovanni.
And they blast off again.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
They're alive then.
Whatever happened to Finny?
Oh, so I got quite sad writing this one. I imagine that he moves to Greybell, sets up a new tavern, but he has a portrait done of Soon that sits in the tavern with a plaque that says thank you. And then
Don't get emotional.
I do. And then he has drinks named after all of you, after all the heroes that you're saving.
The Buckland beer.
But he's always a little bit sad.
Juto's juice.
He's always sad for a little while longer. He's always a little bit tragic.
Finny.
I'd go visit him.
Right.
Yeah, I know you would.
Back to it.
Well, hang on. What would the drinks be called? I want to know this.
I don't know.
You think about it.
You think of yours.
Back to you.
Rainmaker. Reynard's.
Painmaker.
Rum.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. Whatever happened to Enaran?
So I came up with an idea that ties in with Reynard.
Oh.
I like the idea because you're always quite nice to Enaran and you always seem to like his things.
Yeah.
Maybe you would bring him on as the official tailor for Greybell.
Hey!
For the Farahon
Uniform.
legacy.
And he would be super safe there, so he's alive.
Yeah, I like that. I thought because you would need you're an important figure now, leading this city, this town.
Oh, man.
And your descendants would need somebody as well, and Enaran's an elf.
So I'd have the nicest threads.
Yeah,
Cool.
I can see that. I can
He's
see you
alive.
doing that.
Thickest threads.
Whatever happened to Knick-Knack?
I'll put this one down straight away.
Knick-Knack was the prince, right?
Yeah.
So
He was the one trying to marry.
following the
Kobold.
betrayal of his father, exile him, he leads a kobold rebellion against his father,
Yes.
killing the old line and establishing a new rightful order
Reign
within
supreme.
the mountains.
That's amazing.
Wow.
He creates a kobold clan of his own.
Alive.
Alive.
Yeah.
Knick-knack.
Alive.
Reigning supreme.
Until he dies of old age. obviously.
On that happy note.
Dead.
They're all technically dead of old
Alive,
age,
then.
but yeah, alive.
On that note, whatever happened to the Frost Giants now that Sferrier is dead?
Oh, on Iraq, wiped out.
I mean, I've only got one hand, so
Yeah.
Dead.
Just count
a lot of
one.
dead.
Like
Loads
literally,
of
there's
dead.
no Frost Giants ever again.
All
On
dead.
Iraq. On Iraq.
On Iraq.
They're extinct.
Right, I mean,
All
that just
gone.
pushed up to like 35 then, I suppose.
Okay.
Shit.
Whatever happened to Hallow, the frontier town with Sheriff Idris Elba?
Continues to prosper in trade, I imagine. Black powder becomes more common throughout the Dawn Republic, ensuring a good series of trade with them. Probably work closely with the Winterspire. Nothing special.
Whatever happens to Trixiana?
Oh,
Trixie
so
Anya.
with Trixiana, I did think of this. Trixiana, or Trixina, however I changed it. Trixiana, so she becomes Mistress of Illusion. So the former old master retires, and Trixiana takes the position, along with a series of new young wizards that form a brand new arcane council that help Talis Val. They basically become like a ruling council of advisors to the actual city council. She becomes the new Mistress of Illusion. I like to think that Felton also becomes one of those masters of illusion. And despite the fact that Trixiana is a bit older than, perhaps those two get together as well.
Whoa, how much older?
Like, not
That's my
much
little
older.
brother.
Yeah, it's not much older. He's like 16, wasn't he? He was like 15, 16.
Oh, I thought he was like 12.
Oh, no, I had him like 15, 16.
Oh, okay, 15, 16.
And then Trixiana was like 21, so she's still a bit older, but...
half his age then plus 7, what is that?
Whatever happened to Arthur?
rules on the council, basically takes his father's place, helps bring the Dawn Republic into a new economic, financial stability.
Yeah.
Following the thing.
Whatever happened to
Because he was very good with
Dermot?
numbers. He was an asshole, but he was really good with business.
Good in the brain head.
We buried the hatchet as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever happened to Dermot, and did Mark ever consider having him be a Broken Sky agent?
So I imagine that Elora or Cam would regenerate him and basically fix his broken legs. So he gets his legs back. He continues to serve on the council as a military commander, serving on the forces. The second question, yes, I did consider it actually for a long time. I was going to have the Broken Sky have his family and basically forcing him to turn against you, which would have given you the potential thing of like, what do you do?
Save his
If you do, like that's going to put you at risk, and maybe they still die. Then he might, all that kind of stuff. However, I decided that ultimately that you already distrusted them enough to kind of throw that in would make you distrust everybody else even more. Yeah. And there was just too much going on. I was like, sometimes you want to hold stuff like that back. Paranoid. You're like, nah, it's too much.
So you didn't kidnap his family?
No.
Cool.
Good.
We stopped that at least.
You didn't stop shit.
Oh.
What happened to Kagar and Visa, the Centaur and Eerie, who were in love in Arborea?
Thought about this. The potion would wear off. However, I like the idea of it wearing off in a very intimate moment, which is awkward and embarrassing. So that kind of diffuses the kind of tension and the aggression, and it allows them to talk and basically go, we're fighting for dumb fucking reasons. Let's not do this. Maybe
Shall we finish?
No, but certainly would basically put them in a position to actually talk and work things out.
Okay, nice.
That's what I thought anyway.
So that's a happy one. Back to a sad one. Whatever happened to Darmir, Trell's patron? Does he still
this is
exist?
a sad one. So without his last remaining vestige of a believer, of a follower, he fades away into nothing and oblivion and is basically forgotten from all time.
Oh shit. It's like Coco.
Spoilers!
None of us have seen it. None of us have seen it, Nina. And neither have any of the people on the stream. Thank you. Shush! What? I like this one. What happened to that Strider guy with the half-wolf that Elora sent with a message? Did he ever arrive? Also, what happened to the assassin guy? What land was he from?
First guy, I don't even remember.
So, yeah, carry on.
Second guy, the assassin, came from another land.
And he just went back there.
He's an assassin. I don't care.
Just some guy.
Whatever happened to...
Come on, ask me the main one.
We're down to players now. We're going to do that one last.
Okay.
So we're down to players now. So what happened to Balithus, i.e. Smithy's character?
Yep.
So you made the point that Adric would ask him to continue serving Brasaris. And when we saw Smithy on Friday, he basically said that Balithus would help Adric stabilize Brasaris, quashing rebel Chromats, but after that he'd leave for wherever a revolution needed help. And no, he's not getting with Saito.
He did make that very clear.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like, no, you fanfickers, he's not going that way.
Yeah.
Lol.
What happened to Torwen, which was my temporary
What's your
character,
temporary character?
who lost an arm, thank
Yep.
you, Mark. I pretty much
Welcome.
decided, she's still part of the Autumn Guard. Working her way up through the ranks, getting used to life.
Not everybody has a crazy story.
No. What happened to Victoria and Loban?
Oh yeah.
So you do the first bit about Victoria.
So Victoria, dead, failed Falania. That requires death.
Wow.
Loban.
Wow.
It's on the list.
Okay.
I don't know what we're up to now.
So
37.
Loban was Kath's character, and he escaped with Victoria, saying that he would help the Broken Sky because they had his notes on the Lightfall, which were very, very important to him. They were basically his life's work. So this is what Kath has said. Loban's mind had been corrupted by the desire to be a bigger mage than he will ever achieve on his own.
Wow.
His efforts against the team to get the Lightfall shard were more important to him than life itself. In his failure, he found nothing but a hatred for his own limitations and instead decided to leave in a search of a greater power than his books could ever teach him. ...
Nice.
Pretty intense.
Millhouse Manastorm!
So I think that's everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
No, let's just get it out of the
here we go.
way because we need to answer this.
Whatever happened to Girly?
Okay, so let's lay down some facts first. Girly was not some bizarrely, ridiculously overpowered crazy mage, right? In the one shot, which was non-canonical, let's remind everybody that it was non-canonical, she displayed some powers, but in the actual episode she appeared in, she didn't really show any real power. She's like a level 1 wild magic sorceress. The realistic answer is this. Girlie would study in the Underdark using the Medusa's like keep and the books on magic that were there to increase her abilities. She would likely be kept there by the other Snurf nibbling gnomes who wouldn't want her to rush out to the surface and get into trouble. Smurf goblins. She would likely, when she was older, travel up to the surface to see what it was like, you know, after her magic's grown a little bit. She might stumble on the party, might see them again or like see them, but ultimately they're going to be much older. She's a Smurf nibbling, they live for a long time. She would ultimately just probably return home to help her people and the Durgar. It's a very boring answer, but that's what happens.
I have another question. How do you feel about Girlie?
She was a nothing character that I was honestly, this is like DM Mark speaking. This was a character I was like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to have like, yeah, like a kind of like really eager, adventurous Snurf nibbling who wants to go up to the surface. The party would respond well to that. Yeah, we'll have like a little girl who's like wants to do this thing like a teenager. Yeah, throw her in, that'll be really fun. Cool. Party meets her. Oh, that's quite sweet. Oh, what a sweet little character. Yeah, we'll help you, Girlie. You're great. You found her annoying, but she's like, oh, yeah, you're sweet. We'll go along with you.
Cam loved her.
Like, you were like, oh, you're great, because she looked up to Cam, right? You fed the ego of Cam.
Yeah.
You do the stuff in the Underdark. You're like, pat, pat, bye, kid. You leave. That's it. Like, people made her into this big thing, and I don't get it.
That's definitely
I just don't get
a
it.
question I have for the audience. What is it about Girlie and Tharizdun that made them so...
Tharizdun I can understand because he was funny. It was like this funny, over-the-top, crazy
What is it
monster.
about Girlie that made you guys harass us
She's cute.
for 2 years?
She's adorable. We just love
Because
her.
I didn't see
I think it became its own thing, right?
Yeah.
The perfect follow-up.
I didn't see it.
Follow-up.
She was unique. It's Girlie. Girlie was adorable.
It's Girlie is not an answer. Like, this is what I mean. Like, it just builds up into this thing, right?
She was something to protect.
Yeah.
Not
There were lots of things to protect. There were lots of it.
Maybe that's
like
just
that.
my non-mothering instinct. I was like,
think
oh,
so,
get
yeah,
out.
Girlie was Girlie.
You
Promise.
broke
The
a promise to a young child.
Oh,
Juto doesn't
the
care.
promise thing, like I'd always return.
Yeah, and you
Well,
didn't.
but here's the thing. You might not have broken that promise. Cam Buckland, maybe the reason she goes up to the surface is because Cam Buckland wants another adventure. Bilbo going on one last adventure, travels down to the Underdark to see the young adventurer.
I'll be 90 years old.
Yeah.
You're Girlie!
But maybe
still a
he does, or maybe, maybe he's 60 and he does it. But like, that's the thing, is like, he doesn't necessarily
Alright,
have to have broken it.
How about this for fanfic?
Okay.
All right, I have this little Arborean baby. We
Yeah.
raise it to a certain level, and then Girlie takes, when this child is of age, on
Yeah.
little adventures together.
There you go. So like
Under Cam's wing.
maybe Cam Morella and Baby Cam head down to the Underdark. That's a perfect
No,
family
no,
outing.
Girlie comes
Oh, she
up.
comes up to the
She comes
surface
up.
and then you meet her that way. Okay, there you
Yes.
go.
There you go.
On which note, if we're still going to do things that trigger you about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Underdark...
No, this one I can understand. This one I can understand.
So this was
It's-
one of our top... If I had to rank these questions...
This is number
was
one.
this was number 2.
Girlie's number one.
yes.
Girlie was
number two.
easily number one.
Who was that cleric statue down in the Underdark that looked just like Cam, and what happened to
Here
it?
we go.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the most underwhelming answer of the evening? So, that was something I put in there as a, be kind of cool if, you know, I had this idea of like, I like the idea that, especially with Champions of the Gods, that there's always, like, history repeats itself, right? Like, Avandra picks champions, and they grow in power, and they go on these adventures, and they do things, and then not all of them are going to succeed. And I like the idea that they often follow similar paths, right? Like the hero's journey, like you have to have these moments. So I had this idea of like, I came up with a character, I've got his name written down somewhere, but I don't remember it off the top of my head, that he was basically, long before the Lightfall, he was Avandra's champion. Avandra knew that something bad was going to happen and so sent him to find some scrolls or some magic spells that could help him and help the world. He goes down into the Underdark. He finds the Medusa, she turns him to stone. And he had just led a very similar life to Cam. That's why he had the brand, that's why they look similar, like this idea of champions kind of repeating themselves. And that was it. It's like I had no other plans beyond that. The only thing I would say is that he was almost like a precursor to Lady Amaryllis, and I wanted you guys to meet a character from before the Lightfall who could just be there to talk a bit about the world and give you some context to the world, like a show don't tell thing, right? Like, rather than me just going like, and 400 years ago there was this town and it's called blah blah blah. Instead you could have this NPC who could go, oh, 400 years ago this thing happened and blah blah, and I did this and blah 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 blah. So,
I thought that was a cool answer.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent
hopefully it
answer.
wasn't underwhelming.
So it was Cam before Cam.
Yeah, it was the idea that basically any powerful divine champion. So in a way, like maybe Cassandra and even Adric had similar
Yeah.
ones, like back in the past. I like the idea of one of like
History repeats,
the original
yeah.
Brassaris champions, like one of his ancient ancestors that was Worm King, was very much like Adric and
Yeah.
had a similar journey to Adric.
'Cause
So
history
to
does repeat.
expand from that,
Yes.
if history repeats itself, does that mean that this adventure could happen again in the future?
Not the
Not this
whole of
exact
history,
thing, no,
not the
but-
whole. Do champions of the gods. So the idea that yes, like after Cam dies, there probably would be another young adventurer similar to him that Avandra
There will
favors.
always
Him or
be
her,
one.
him or her, I should say, him or her,
Another
or them.
twat.
Because Avandra doesn't care whether it's boy, girl, or whatever.
Right.
So, like, yeah. So that idea.
Enough of you now.
Yep.
Back to the players,
Go
and
on.
then you in a little bit.
No, that's fine.
Who was your favourite villain in the campaign?
I super liked Sylval, even though I didn't see a lot of Sylval.
You didn't see the transformation. You only saw the second
I only
half.
saw werewolf Sylval, and then suddenly she turned into a woman. Didn't know that was a thing,
That
but
was good.
I really liked that fight with Sylval specifically.
So you like the combat encounter.
Oh, that combat encounter was great. In terms of bad guy, the rogue I kind of liked just because it was just a looming threat that was just, they've got a big bird.
A really big
A
bird.
really big bird, and we only saw it twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
You saw it once at Veldeban and then in the siege.
And it was just kind of like, well, if they've got that, like, we're screwed. Like, what are we going to do?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't a villain with dialogue or anything like that. It was just a big fuck-off bird. But,
It's the monster hunter in Tom.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really, really good.
No, sometimes that's it. Sometimes just a natural monster.
It was just
that's
a
like,
stupidly
fuck, that's
large,
scary.
looming threat that was
Nice.
just, at some point, it's going to come back, and I was waiting for that.
Trot.
Tre Lamar.
Cool.
Oh.
An interesting answer.
Oh.
Crown Rend was a really good one.
Crown Rand would have to be number one. you
Yeah.
know.
And I think Felania's ending arc was amazing.
Yeah,
The fact
for
that
so long, Felania was like just this comic book villain, really,
Yeah.
for you guys. And it wasn't until you actually saw the real
That's
sort of
right,
lore
yeah.
that you're like,
I
oh,
thought that's
fuck,
crap,
actually.
like-
It's the
Yeah.
classic villain witch who's like using bad energies to make herself look pure again, like Snow White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I really liked, on a more kind of frivolous level, I liked Vesuvius Blackmantle. Because, like, I love that you hyped him up to be this badass, and I fell for it. I
Yeah.
genuinely fell for it.
That was one of my favorite things,
And
too.
then,
What's
yeah,
that?
it
Remind
turns.
us.
So do you remember-
That's the guy who had Grunker in the.
Had
Yes.
Bronca in the
Yeah.
Kobold
I
campaign.
was going to
And,
say,
like, all the guards were like, you don't want to fucking mess
Yeah.
with him. He's
He's
scary,
crazy."
guy.
although he
Like,
did
super
trick
scary.
us, because I think
Yeah.
we
He did for a long
initially,
time.
Yeah.
like, we were going to just let him go because he was clearly meek and mild and all of that, and then he turned on us.
Yeah.
But then he threw an earth elemental and destroyed the bridge, and the
Yeah.
earth elemental just fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. Like,
It was like a
Yeah.
real like clusterfuck of an
Yeah.
encounter.
Yeah.
But what I loved is like even the lead up, like when like you went up to his
Yeah.
door and just like
I was
Cam's in disguise,
terrified.
and like the door booms
Yeah,
open, and I have
remember
like,
how
and he's using like
timid?
illusions
Yeah.
to make himself look fucking scary.
We were like pissing ourselves, being
It was
like, how are we
great.
going to
Yeah.
do
and I'm
this?
there like this little level 6 mage or whatever is just like, I don't like violence. And he was a complete pervy weirdo as
Yeah.
well. Like that was the other
Yeah.
thing is he was like this fucking. For me, like Vesuvius Blackmantle was like you give like the most cringy, horrible, bad nerd in the world
Yeah.
magical power.
Yeah.
That's what he'd become. Like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
I think definitely.
So, Tom,
wow!
Yeah.
Saw that coming somehow.
But no, I'm really interested because I knew you guys Crown Rend was good because Crown Rend was such a corrupting influence.
I was I genuinely, there was sessions when that kind of came to a head where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, how,
Well, you didn't want to get rid of him for parts as well.
Yeah,
it
because I was sucked in.
It had the ring of power effect where
Yeah.
you're like, no, I need this. Like, this is
like,
making
I
me really
genuinely,
strong.
yeah. Especially after she died, it's like the only thing that would make me strong again. And like Juto kind of suffered a lot from dying, and that she was like, oh, I'm not as good as I
Invincible,
thought I
yeah.
was, you know. And like, but then as a player, I was like, where does this go?
And it was like when it'd be things like, Kim, I need to write down an extra floor, and I think that was when you went, oh shit, this is actually getting serious now.
And you whispered, remember you whispered in my ear that basically I would have to start, so I don't know if I ever revealed this, but one of my flaws when I kind of activated more of Crown Wren's evil features was that she hates royalty and she hates systems.
Anybody of in power and
structure
anyone
and power.
of a lawful lawful kind of disposition.
Yeah. So he was constantly whispering at me to kill Allura, to kill Althadon, to kill Adric and the council, and I was just like,
Shit.
no, I don't
But then it was getting to the point where I was like, make wisdom saving
that
throws.
was the point where I was like,
ooh,
oh,
that's
no.
bad news.
And I didn't know how to take him off. I was like, how the hell do I get this thing off my arm? Like, am I gonna have to cut my arm off? Like,
that would have been one way to do it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was getting ready to do it.
Damn,
I was getting ready to
definitely
do
getting
that.
there. So here's a cool thing. So people have asked for me to release Crown Wren stats. They are up there already, but I can repost them again. I'm never going to give you the final form stats, because what I like about it is that's up for your GM to decide how they want it, how they want that to mess with you. The way that I had it work was that if you had continued to activate him, I think it was like 50 times or something like that, I was tracking them. You get to a certain point, and I'd be like, Crown Wren would say like, there's another step I can make you stronger. You and I have to join together, basically. Like if we do that, and he would have told you like, no, you'll still be in control, but like we need to do this. And if you had done that, I would have been like, Kim, I need your character sheet, and it would have been like, I would have taken it, because obviously the guys could have still gotten you out of it.
Okay.
They could have used like Lady Amaryllis, like relic, greater restoration and things would have separated you two and stuff like that. But the idea that basically at that point you become a new being that is part Juto, part Crown Wren, but you're not in control fully.
So would you have had me roll a new character, but then in the meantime, Juto Crown Wren would have come back as a villain?
It would have been a symbiote, basically. Yeah. Imagine like Carnage or Venom, like that kind of thing. Like probably would have gone after Allura and Althadon and the Council and Adric and stuff like that.
Oh god, imagine if that had happened, that like, I don't know, she'd killed Althadon, and then you guys managed to save her somehow, and she comes out of it like,
with it. Yeah.
oh, I just killed Allura's dad.
So, and that was all absolutely possible. It was slowly creeping towards that. And it was when you got to the Salandra stuff and you're like, no, I can't do this. You're hurting me and you want me to hurt my friends. And obviously these guys came together and were like,
I think the pet talks and like you spotting that he was whispering in my ear holes. That
was scary
stuff.
That
was mad.
And then the nice thing is, because the rest of you technically were good characters, and Tre Lamar was the only really kind of neutral person, he then tries to put it on Tre Lamar. He's like, pick me up. And Tre Lamar's like, no, fuck you. Like, I ain't fucking listening to your shit. Like, get out of here. It's good. Yeah.
Reynard. Where did Reynard acquire Axel and Wilhelm, and if they were given to him by Felix, where did he get them?
I think I mentioned where he got Axel from, I think. But it was definitely written on my character sheet that he is proficient in card games, as it turns out. And I think he had a story about where he found Axel, and it was some ancient tomb in the middle of some ancient wilderness, and he killed some ancient the ancients, or something like that. He won it in a card game, basically. That's all that happened. Someone had a magical scimitar. He didn't even know what it did. I think he also didn't know the key word for it.
Yeah.
He didn't know the command word for it. So that's why he didn't know the command word, because he just won it in a card game and no one told him how to use it. As for Wilhelm, I think I had that as it was. So to begin with, here's a fun little tidbit for you. Uncle Ferrahorn was neither dead nor alive at the beginning. To begin with, I think he was going to be dead, and I think that's where he got Wilhelm from. I mean, obviously he existed. He came back. He was a thing because it was never confirmed nor denied. But I think Wilhelm was initially Uncle Ferrahorn's crossbow.
Bequeathed it.
Yeah, but I guess he was a good tinkerer as well, so maybe he made it himself. I guess that could be the canon now that Uncle Ferrahorn's alive.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Yeah.
Nice.
It's just it's a weapon.
Camulus Buckland. Cam seems a bit distracted at time, and he has different fascinations on different things. Does he have a mental disorder like OCD or ADHD?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't really think of that. happening. I think it's kind of like Homer Simpson, where in his head there's a little dancing song.
Yeah.
Well, he was low intelligence, wasn't he? He was like intelligence 9, so...
Well, that was another question. Was Cam really as dumb as he let on? With an intelligence of 9, he was only slightly below average. Did he play up to that or put on some of his stupidity, or was it genuine?
Nah, it was genuine dumbness.
Yeah.
I think you did put it on a little bit, every now and then.
When it went real ham,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, when it was like
For sure.
super ham.
When it could play to his advantage in some way,
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
do that.
Because the thing is Cam had a high wisdom but low intelligence. So it's like he could have these profound moments of like the talk with Juto and like, you know, the moments
When
where
it
like,
genuinely matters,
Yeah.
I think he will switch on for it. Other times he'll
he's just like not paying attention.
yeah, he's not paying attention. That's kind of it. He just doesn't soak it in
Yeah.
if he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we carry on, Kim, should we do one more question and then a break?
Yes, I think we should. So,
read out the rest of
what
these
kind of
donations
question
as
do we
well.
want? Do we want a serious one? Do we want a funny one?
Should we get through these donation ones?
Okay, let's go through the donation ones.
Dancing on Fire donated after 12 hours of D&D already this weekend and several more coming this afternoon. I'm so glad today is a nice chill Q&A stream. Here's a quickie. How are you all today? Happy? Tired? Excited? Tired?
I'm pretty happy. Like we had a good weekend.
I'm happy tired.
I'm
I'm up there.
excited for Campaign 2, July 1st.
1st.
Twitch.tv/Yogscast.
Always
Ahoy. Always be promoting. Learned that
Yeah.
from Sam Regal.
Hi Rolls D&D on Twitter. More merch.
Someone read the
Read
next
this one.
donation.
The game guy donated. Good to see that my world building isn't so different from Mark's. I know the question of Trelly's backstory was addressed, but what about his future? What are the plans for Charles Ketchel? We'll answer that one after the break. I'm pretty sure that's in the document, isn't it? What happened to Tre Lamar?
I think
We
so.
already read it out.
Yeah, we read it out.
You
We read it out. Oh, what about his future?
His future.
He pretty much said he was fucked.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
asked Matt, and he
But
was like,
I know a bit more about that. Well, answer that after the break.
Your future.
Wolfie Kid of Doom donating purely in support of Mark's girly rant. It wasn't a rant. I answered the question.
But you
a little
did
bit
rant.
ranty.
Nightjar donated at the Processions Women's
Ooh.
March in Cardiff. So can't watch live, but love you guys. Oh, thanks,
Awesome.
Nightjar.
Nice one,
Nightjar.
Nightjar.
Well done.
Good for you.
Talwyn Greenwood. What is that one below? As far as I remember it, when Juto got rid of Crownrend and it got thrown off the Winter Spire, a random elf picked it up off the ground below and disappeared in a flash of fire. What happened to that elf?
Fucking dead.
Dead.
How did
That's
we
on
get
the
to
list.
Silval, though?
Huh?
How did the Crown Round get
Oh, that's a mystery
Okay.
that will never be answered.
I can't
because it
work
was
this out.
basically a plot
There's a
device.
face in there.
Yeah, and
Is it
first
Kirby?
class private parts is donated with what looks like ASCII art, but
But it doesn't
it's-
really
it's-
show up
Does
properly.
It's
not
messed up.
work.
Sam, can you shrink it up and shrink the window and make it bigger until we can see it? I'm really
No,
dedicated
don't
to this
make
at this point.
Sam do
Please,
that.
thank you, Sam.
He's
It doesn't work at any resolution.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ram.
thanks,
Yeah.
anyway.
Right, with that, let's
I'm
take
sure
a
it's
break.
penis.
Yep.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5.
Actual
yeah.
minutes.
Well, we
5
need to play
actual
the
minutes.
ads and then like a couple of minutes after that to let him have a...
Don't go anywhere. We've got more
Yeah.
burning questions that
We
will
got
be
a lot.
answered.
We got a lot.
We'll power through them. And if you want to send more in, donate. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you in 5.
Bye.
Now hear ye, oh you rascals, with the bellies full of pie, and listen to this tale of old where the heroes both beat high. Hey, he's a master of concealment and an adept at disguise. With heroes is when he's seeking faster, husband wants to lie. He's slain many a villain, be a dragon, buff or wizard. He's looted chests of all the best of treasures he could find. He's the undefeated champion of adventure, war and passion, and he sings this song as he goes along with a fiddle and a pipe. The grass is green, the air is clean, a sweet lass by my side. The wrinkle card is looking so as breeze are on behind. The world is full of monsters, while the thing here at the time. So let your roast propose a toast to these drunken friends of mine. I hero journey far and wide, but it riches, gold and magic. But he never found his true love song, and it made him sad in time.
And one day while he was walking, he was shot as he was singing.
And I made a fair from over there with a bow, and she was mine. She apologized profusely, said she thought he wasn't warm, and she carried him to the nearest inn, for she nursed him back to life. Well, they fell in love directly, and she married him that night. So the half they down, they cut me up for a song about their time. The grass is green, the air is clean, the sweet lass by my side. There ain't nobody looking, so I squeeze her up behind. Hey, the world is full of monsters, foul, linger at the side. So lift your rose and toast to the drunken friends of mine. Now hear ye, oh you rascals, with the bellies full of pie, and listen to this tale of old where the heroes won't be high. Hey, he's the master of concealment and an adept at disguise. With heroes is when he's seeking faster, husband wants to lie. He's slain many a villain, be a dragon, buff or wizard. He's looted chests of all the best of treasures he could find. He's the undefeated champion of adventure, war and passion, and he sings this song as he goes along with a fiddle and a pipe. The grass is green, the air is clean, a sweet lass by my side. There ain't nobody looking, so I squeeze her up behind. The world is full of monsters, well, but they ain't here at the time. So let your rocks propose a toast to these drunken friends of mine. A hero journey far and wide, but it riches, gold and magic. But he never found his true love song, and it made him sad in time.
And one day while he was walking, he was shot as he was singing.
And I made a fair from over there with a bow, and she was mine. She apologized profusely, said she thought he wasn't warm, and she carried him to the nearest inn, for she nursed him back to life. Well, they fell in love directly, and she married him that night. So the half they down, they cut me up for a song about their time. The grass is green, the air is clean, the sweet lass by my side. There ain't nobody looking, so I squeeze her up behind. Hey, the world is full of monsters, foul, linger at the side. So lift your rose and toast to the drunken friends of mine. bellies full of pie and listen to this tale of old where the heroes smoking high. Hey, he's a master of concealment and an adept at disguise. With years is when he's sinking faster, husband wants to lie. He's slain many a villain, be a dragon, buff or wizard. He's looted chests of all the best of treasures he could find. He's the undefeated champion of adventure, war and passion. And he sings this song as he goes along with a fiddle and a pipe. The grass is green, the air is clean, a sweet lass by my side. There ain't no fun in looking so as we's around behind. The world is full of monsters, well, but they ain't here at the time. So let your roast, propose a toast to these drunken friends of mine. A hero journey far and wide, but it riches, gold and magic. But he never found his true love song, and it made him sad and tired.
Mademoiselle Molly was walking, he was shot as he was singing.
And I made a fair from over there with a bow and she was mine. She apologized profusely, said she thought he was a quarrel. And she carried him to the nearest inn where she nursed him back to life. Well, they fell in love directly and she married him that night. So they're happy now, they can't be up for a song about their time. The grass is green, the air is clean, the sweet lass by my side. There ain't nobody looking so I squeeze her up behind. Hey, the world is full of monsters, foul, here at the side. So lift your roast, propose a toast to the drunken friends of mine.
Hello. Tom just spilt something all over
No, I
himself.
didn't. My fucking glasses are broken.
Get them fixed.
I'm getting them fixed next week. My glasses are broken, so my lens fell out. Get on with the show.
This is why you always have a second pair.
I don't know where they are. Anyway, carry on.
Should have gone to Spectrum.
Welcome back. We're doing a Q&A.
problem.
I'm here now because I came in halfway through the last one. So I'm sure you already knew that. Kim is going to answer some Juto questions, and then we're going to read the donation questions.
Yeah, so basically there was a lot of questions about Yuan Yang.
Combine them all into one answer.
Yeah.
Go.
I'm recapping what the freaking questions were. Basically there was a lot of people going, what's the deal with Yuan Yang?
Are you banging?
The answer is... That, don't do that.
Oh my
I watched Deadpool yesterday, okay? Deadpool 2 has a very good... Anyway, so Yuan Yang, first of all, the big clue is in her name, because as I created her, I always leave clues in the names. So Yuan Yang is actually Chinese, it's Mandarin for Mandarin duck.
Which we all knew.
Well, Google knows.
Yep.
Google knows.
I mean, I knew.
And the thing is, Mandarin duck in Chinese culture is a term of affection for someone that you love, because going all the way back through history, whenever you depicted, like, I don't know, if you were making embroidery for a couple that were getting married, you'd picture them as a pair of Mandarin ducks, because apparently Mandarin ducks stay together for life.
Yeah, because of the thorny dick.
Thanks. So yeah, and that was probably the biggest.
Literally can't come out.
In the relationship, Juto is the thorny dick, so that makes sense.
I hate you all. Why must you destroy everything beautiful?
Sorry, carry on. So romantic.
There was lots of people.
So in the name, it implies...
Yeah.
Treasured loved
And this
one.
is the thing, people were like, what are you, bi, lesbian, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, again, there is no name for what Juto is, because you got to remember, she was enslaved from a very young age. She spent her whole life, you know, trying to get back what she was and understand the world. So she wouldn't know, like, what about, you know, sexual orientations and labels.
Well, she
and
didn't have
stuff
a chance. She didn't have a chance to explore that.
No, but what she knows is that there is this girl that she met, who she grew to love, and who called her out on her shit, and basically, you know, was like...
But did it in a way that Juto kind of liked and respected.
She stood up to Juto. She kind of, and it was literally that kind of yin-yang relationship of like, she balanced Juto out, and she was the only person to do so. And the reason why she was never mentioned, she was actually written on my original document all the way back in 2016. I never mentioned her as Juto because, as mentioned, the village that she founded, Zio, was a secret. It was a refugee village for tieflings who had escaped from evil dragonborns. And for better or for worse, like, she basically, it was a secret, and she was never going to tell anyone.
But, and even if, and the thing is there wasn't even really an opportunity to. There was no reason
Never
to.
came up.
Because the events of the campaign, we could have gone to Brasaris earlier, but things happened which meant that didn't happen. Like, it meant that Brasaris just never became an you know, drive. Like,
I mean, I did mention the village to Saito way back when we were at the Veldeban. And that was probably the first time she mentioned it. But all of this, I know it seems like a big thing that just came out of nowhere, but this was actually legit written in 2016.
And I had it, like, I had Zio, and the other thing is the reason that, like, Yuan Yang never came and found Juto is because she was busy doing continuing this work.
And she was left in charge.
Exactly. So, and that's why when you came back, like, I had, you know, the things that when you came back you were like, oh, all this stuff's happened. It was because of that reason. Oh.
So yeah, and that was the thing. As to how they met, I always imagined that basically, Yuan Yang was a person that Juto rescued in one of her raids, you know, in Tiefling, to free Tieflings. And yeah, they probably just grew to know each other.
Did they bang though?
I should go.
I mean, she was pretty
Let's
young.
bang, okay?
They were pretty young.
So now.
I don't think Juto would even know what that is. Like, you know?
She can short.
Oh, wait, oh yeah. Oh,
She probably, maybe she figures it out. I don't know.
I don't want to maybe, I want to know.
That's the thing, Juto's...
The audience wants to know.
Juto doesn't know. The audience can keep it to themselves and use that not suitable for work
To me,
tag.
they banged.
Read some donations.
Daily.
Okay.
Ace of Thorns donated question for, well, everyone, I guess. Was there ever anything you wanted to try with your characters/players, but the moment never came round for it? A facet of a character that went unexplored, or any batshit notion that popped up? Hashtag roll on July
Actually,
1st.
a few people asked this, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Ace of Thorns. Trot.
No. I think everything was covered in terms of Cam. I think you know Cam very well. I feel I've explored all avenues.
It's not the
of Cam.
deepest character.
It's like a puddle.
No, I don't mean that.
Splashing it and it's done.
He's right though. There is not much.
Kim?
I mean, mine basically got answered in the last few episodes.
Yeah, it was
My
like-
big
that was-
secret was Yuan Yang, and at a point I thought we were going to finish with Talasval, and we'd never know.
Nah.
But we did.
No,
There you
it was.
go.
I was never gonna. It was always gonna be that everybody would at least get to do something with their own personal stories. Like always, that was gonna be something that happened. So that was definitely gonna happen. What about you, Tom? Anything, any part of Reynard that?
Well, I
got
think
to-
towards the end of my month tenure, which ended up being 2 months and ended up being a year, and then ended up me being permanent.
Yeah.
I did try some things with Reynard, like the Bahamut stuff, like him being.
You were exploring
religious.
different things.
Yeah, I just thought I'd try a load of different things because, like I said, I didn't plan that far.
Yeah.
So I just tried some stupid things. Like the Bahamut stuff, I just sort of immediately put to the side after I began it. So it kind of retconned a little bit, but.
Well, no, I like the idea that he was trying to like find ways to appear a better person, and then he was like, "No, this is too much work."
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was
be
way
asked
too
with
much
this.
work. He couldn't be asked with learning about Bahamut. I couldn't be asked about learning about Bahamut.
But I think like the fact that Reynard had a bit of a kind of like change of his ways and like became the hero he was pretending to be.
yeah, it did fit in. I think it wasn't like a stupid thing that I regretted, but like it was something that you want to try out so you could fit in better with everyone in Talasval and all of that. So I think it made sense, but it was ultimately me just trying.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Something.
That's exactly.
Mark, was there anything about? Answer the question.
I mean, I'm not a player character.
Yeah, but is there anything you feel like?
I'm going to read this next donation. Brewing Scribe donated, "Hey all, bought some of those shiny new dice available now in the Yogscast store."
He put them all in his mouth.
Yeah, no, I saw that on the train. With regards to questions, for the players, what was your favourite dungeon? Like
The one that we had in the was it the Underdark that was basically trippy as all hell? Like it had the upside down room.
Damir's Temple.
Yeah, that
Damir's
was
Temple.
great. I love
Okay.
that. It was weird, and that to me felt like really old school
Very
dungeoneering.
old school dungeon master. Like I purposely made it very old school.
Yes, I like that one.
I really liked when we went into that very weird place where there was an organ player
Yes.
with the raven.
Yeah, that was really just one room. It wasn't really much of a dungeon, but yeah, that
But
was
I liked
the
the
Jonathan Knightsbrook and the problems in Talasval. That was you gaining entrance to the Underdark.
Yes,
wasn't it?
that was, yeah.
And there was a big monster, and the organ player was doing stuff, and
That was
okay,
weird.
cool. Tom?
I liked the big old tree that was by, I can't remember the name of the
Everseed
village.
tree.
Yeah, Everseed tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
cool.
it was a weird one because it was like, it was a dungeon that was all laid out, but it had already been solved by someone. And
Yeah.
that was kind of the really weird
some of
thing
it
about-
had been,
Some of
yeah.
it had been, but like there was remnants of a previous explorer who'd already
Which
gone
was
through
Phoenix.
it. And that was really cool for me because, I don't know, it's just really weird. Like, someone's already done this.
Yeah. I love
I
that I
just
nailed
liked
the
it.
riddle.
Oh yeah.
I just had that moment of like, Die Hard 3!
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a. It wasn't the door. Do you remember that? Like the door puzzle where Trot. Like I think it was with
Yeah,
Falk.
with Falk
and those
poor
guys.
Wen.
And you guys were like looking at, and it's like the door's like, "Speak my name" or blah blah blah, whatever it was, and you're like, I just don't get it. You went to leave, and then you just look up.
Ran back,
And you're like,
yeah.
I run back, and
You've got to make him say it.
yeah, it was so good. And then for
Classic.
Mark, what was your favourite dungeon to design? Looking forward to the new campaign. Ooh, what was my favourite dungeon to design? I really like the temple that you guys went in before the Underdark. So not Damir's temple, but the old temple to Tharasdun. And it had like the puzzle with like you had to step on the constellation.
Yeah, that was really
Yes.
good.
I still
And
got
like the
those
mirrored wall
constellations,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like that,
That
was
was
really
cool.
fun. That was
Yeah.
like a real
That was a real
traditional D&D
dungeon.
dungeon.
That was tasty.
Which is fun to do. Like I like doing more interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this with Matt in Critical Role. Like he's throwing in like real classic D&D dungeons. Like at certain
what you do
points
with
as
that
well.
level, right?
That's the
Yeah.
perfect thing though, right? Like you get to high level and it's all save the world.
I really
But
like-
levels 1 to 10, it's like go and explore these old catacombs.
Here's
I
a pouch
love-
of gold, eh?
I really like that one because Tom wasn't there.
Cool.
What an ass.
On a side note, there is a further question on that from
Yes.
our DM questions. Were there
I've
any,
read that one, Sam.
Were there any areas that players just ignored which you had prepared for, i.e. dungeons that went untouched, traps left untriggered, or NPCs that you never encountered?
I mean, in terms of, I'm sure there was some minor stuff like traps and NPCs, but nothing major. Not that I can remember anyway, because you got to remember, like, a lot of this stuff is in my notes, and I don't keep it all up here. In terms of other stuff, like, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about how I prepare. Generally, most of the preparation came the week before we played. So, like, we would play, I would then go home and go, okay, what's going to happen next? How does this knock on? How does this affect things? Okay, I'll write this for this, and this for this, and this for this. So generally, I always knew roughly where you were going and what you were doing. If you did, like, you would basically, it would be like a branching path thing where you went right instead of left. Maybe there were some minor things on that left path, but generally you could have gone either way and you still end up in the same direction, right? Like, it's all smoke and mirrors as a DM. It's like giving you guys the illusion that you think that you're making all the right choices, but actually your choices lead to the same place. Maybe that place just gets retextured and renamed and moved around and stuff. The mechanical thing, like story-wise, your decisions absolutely do matter, but in terms of my actual design prep and stuff like that, that works there. So yeah, Sam, if you can close that brewing scribe one.
I've got it on here now. So,
thank you.
Bacon X Tiger donated.
Oh, wait, no.
Oh, wait.
No. Sorry, Sam, that was my fault.
Yeah, thanks.
I just meant the brewing scribe one.
I've been catching up on Lightfall Campaign since March, and when I get to episode 70, you guys finish. God damn it!
You're almost there.
Still there?
Yeah.
Here's my question. What do you think is one of your guys' biggest fuck-ups? Again, thank you for the last Love from California.
We kind of touched on this earlier. Oh, do we? I don't know. This was a...
Don't think so.
Okay, this was a question that was asked, actually, yeah.
I think it was something that you regret.
Absolutely setting Dimitri's little shack on fire.
House. Shop.
It was a little shop.
If we include the mini-series with this, is it on the same level as I set a child on fire?
I think that's pretty
That could have been one, but
Or
that's
how about
not
the one where you
Lightfall.
shove your head in a
Well,
sphere
could
of
we not bring up
annihilation?
No, because these are funny. Like, you have this thing, Trot, that I love, where you just say the thing that is in your head. You'll be like, I set them on fire, or like, I set their clothes on fire. But in your head, you're like, ooh, a little burn. But what you say is very different to what you mean. And so, like, when you were like, for the Dimitriv thing, it was this idea of like, no, I'm going to smoke him out. And I'm like, he's like, I described earlier, there was like oil lanterns and stuff in his store, and it's like, whoosh.
And then you just locked them in there.
Yeah, it was so funny.
He locked himself in.
He locked himself in. He did lock himself in.
yeah.
Like
He could have walked out.
Smoke
He
down the
wanted
show.
to, but he
Smoke.
failed his saving
Yeah, he
throws.
fainted.
He failed,
Yeah.
not me.
Bless you, child. What about
That was
you?
my biggest.
What, something I regret doing?
Yeah, or big
Yeah, like what was your biggest rainy fuck up?
I didn't even think about it until someone mentioned it and then put the word cringe after it.
Oh, okay.
And it was
Wow.
when we were with Knick Knack and all the kobolds, and I tried to, I don't even remember why I did it. I'm sure it had some context in my head at the time, but it's just like the dumbest fucking thing, and I regret doing it, is I picked up a kobold and tried to stab it on a dagger on your side to make it look like you killed it.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember exactly why I did
We were
it.
still
And it was
having
the
that
most,
rivalry.
it was the most anti-Reynard thing, and I just don't know why I did
Why
it.
you just kill an innocent...
We'll just pretend that didn't happen.
It did happen though.
It happened.
You can't just say it didn't
He had
happen.
a moment of insanity.
A moment of insanity inside the dark, dark caves. They were dark caves
That's
that made
true.
me panicked
It was panic.
and tried to kill a kobold. It didn't happen.
Frame Cam Buckland.
Yeah, because he was a dick. You were doing it to me though.
You were
were
trying to
also
do stuff.
framing
You were
me.
like threatening to do it or something. Yeah, I remember. What about you two?
I don't know, I mean, dying was pretty much up there, but then that turned into a kind of brilliant...
Came into a story point.
Yeah.
Like,
Although I do remember you like being
I thought
like
I'd
you thought
fucked
you'd
it up.
ruined it. You were like
I
I
came to
ruined
Mark
it.
in tears
Afterwards.
after the episode going, I'm so sorry, because we were so fresh, we were
You
so
didn't
new
know.
to it. I didn't know how D&D really worked, so when I accidentally killed Juto out of sheer stupidity, I was in tears after the episode, and I said, I'm so sorry, I fucked this all up.
You said specifically. I remember you saying, "I fucked this up. I fucked this up. I've ruined it." And
Yeah.
I was like, "You've not ruined anything." I was like, "You can be brought back to life by
Yeah.
this resurrection rules."
I thought I genuinely ruined it.
you
like,
just didn't think you
yeah.
could come back.
All that artwork.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Next one from Aran Bear. Kim, aren't you supposed to meet Trump?
Ugh.
Anyway, I'm ending the
Kim
crazy.
Jong-un.
Oh, I see.
Ill.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, it's funny because we got Kim and
Kim,
Ono,
Kim.
and we're both kind of Asian.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm ending the crazy yet exciting day here in Singapore by watching you guys. Interesting answers. Love them. Thank you very much, Aran Bear.
Thanks.
Nightjar, you're supposed to be at this thing.
Yeah.
I can never think of any relevant world-building character questions, but if you've read his Dark Materials series by Philip Pullman, what type of demon do you think your PC other character of your choosing would be? Also, Hatburf Neens, she's gone.
I have not read that.
I've not read his.
I have read it. You'd love it.
There's a lot
You'd
of
love
books I
it.
want to read.
You'd love it. You'd love it.
What would...
Basically, the idea is that every person has their inner creature that represents them, and it kind of accompanies them from adolescence to maturity to kind of just, be a moral guide, like Jiminy
a
Cricket.
demon?
Imaginary
Yeah, I
friend.
mean, you can just call it whatever. It's like.
Oh, right.
So basically, what would your animal self be?
Your
like your
Patronus
animal
or whatever.
conscious. Yeah, Patronus.
Of-
Oh,
Cam.
well, spirit animal.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
spirit animal,
literally
Patronus.
that.
Yeah, it's just giving it a different name.
I don't know, Firefox?
Cam's would be a red panda.
No, something dumber.
No, yeah.
Sloth.
Yes!
He's not that slow.
Sloths aren't
Or
dumb.
slow Loris, just when they look at things like,
Yeah.
He's a slowpoke. He's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
A slow Loris.
Slow bro.
I don't know, what would Juto be? I don't know.
Something angry. Honey
Something
badger.
angry.
Small and angry.
No, but
Honey
cute.
badger.
No, she's not
Yeah.
that cute, is she? Yeah, honey badger, fuck it.
I guess, I mean, I've got the antler brooch, but in terms of like,
I'd say stag.
but
for
what?
anything.
Yeah, because stags are like big and majestic, but then you put some
They're also
headlights
like,
on them, and then you put some headlights on them.
That works really well. Should we read some more? Like rattle off some more. Have you got more Juto ones, or
What's
do you want to
something
ask ones
about
for
your
those?
character that you never got really brought up? Everybody, what is something about your character that you never really got a chance to bring up?
I think
Although we did.
His parents for Cam.
Yeah, your parents.
But I didn't really have anything, so
Yeah.
it's not like I wanted it to be brought up. So nothing.
I mean, I think there was meant to be something that I wanted
See
to
if I
explore a
got
little
mine.
more with Reynard's mum, but I never got to.
Reynard's
I say I never
mum.
got
Touched on it a
to.
little bit.
We
but
touched
yeah,
on it a bit,
It just
but-
didn't develop.
Yeah, it
Like
didn't develop
I was so close to having a die of a disease during the
Oh
siege.
God!
I'll
why
put
would
I
you
was
do
so
that?
close
Alright,
to just
fine.
rolling percentiles.
Hang on,
and
that's
being
on the
like,
death
"Oh, she's
list."
dead.
On the death list. If you were making your Lightfall characters now, what changes would you have made?
That's a good question.
And bonus question: which character, player or not, other than your own, is your favorite?
Oh,
Good
So
question.
yeah,
wow.
So what changes would you make if you were to make them now? With
I
2.5
wouldn't
years experience.
I wouldn't make any changes.
No.
Cam.
You love him?
I think he was the perfect and best character.
Yep. What if you couldn't pick Cam as your favourite character? Who would you pick?
Oh,
Well, you can't, not in the context of
I
the
really like Trell.
Yeah.
I would play as Trell.
Wow.
here's something about
I would.
here's something about Trell as well. Is that Matt came into this as a first-time player, had no fucking clue what he was getting into. He was just like, oh, I just want to hang out with my friends. And so when he created Trell, he didn't actually think that it was going to end up being a year-long, acting of Trell. And he has said that if he could go back in time, he would have done something completely different, having known more about what D&D was around. And he did actually roll another character in case Tre Lamar died. I don't know too much about it because he only ever revealed a little bits and pieces, but he was like, it would basically be someone who was incredibly insensitive on the outside, so incredibly homophobic, sexist, racist, but there was something about, he was like hinting that there was something about him that
Was driving that.
that
I
was
think
driving that.
Matt
yeah.
didn't realize how funny D&D could
Yeah,
be. I think
yeah.
he thought it was very serious and he
Yeah.
wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then actually what he enjoyed doing was pretending to be an old woman and scaring people.
He
and
loved
being
that, yeah.
funny as fuck.
The real D&D.
So I think
Yeah.
he would have, doing something more akin to that would have suited him. Because you knew, because we'd played before, so you knew that you liked playing the fool and you liked playing a bit of an idiot and messing around. So we knew that. What about you for Juto, Kim? Would you have changed anything now that you know?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think
You like the way she is?
I earlier on, I was a bit like, remember I sent emails around going, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing with Juto. I don't really know what to do. I don't know what her goal is. Like what?
Why is she
and-
with the party and stuff?
Yeah, and why I'm still sticking around. And we kind of, she learned and growed. And so I don't think going back there would be anything I changed. Like even her dying.
I don't know if you would agree with this, but do you think playing characters like Kayla helped you figure out what you were doing with Juto?
Yes, because I got to play something completely different on the other side.
And actually really enjoyed the
Yeah.
kind of being more friendly and more into it and stuff. Yeah.
and more kind of casual. But yeah, I don't think I'd change anything.
I would go back.
Mr.
Plan
takes
it for longer.
300 damage in the finale and deals like 400 damage.
Yeah, I mean, how can I say I want him to change? Like, fuck, he mounted a dragon and held his own. Like, I don't know.
pretty
he
good.
really did.
It's really hard to say because
I don't. Yeah.
it's like the characters grow with you anyway, and it's nice that they had their flaws and problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably plan some more stuff just obviously knowing that I'd been in it for longer and obviously whatever else, but I'm still happy with how it went. So I wouldn't necessarily change anything.
Okay.
But I would.
Some people like doing like 10-page backstories
Some people.
It was 2.
for the new one.
It was 1. It's
really?
actually just 1, yeah.
Okay.
size
strike.
6 font.
But yeah, I like building from nothing. I like having just a few bullet points and then just letting the campaign and the group influence my decisions.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like, yeah, we learn and grow together and explore things. You know, that's what D&D is.
Yep.
Here's a fun question. Pick the one spell/action that has been the most useful to your character throughout this journey.
Hunter's Mark.
And one thing you considered adding to your character when creating them, but ultimately didn't, and why?
So an ability that you didn't choose.
Yeah.
And then also which one was your favorite. So what was Cam's favorite spell or ability that he used all the
I
time?
think the Guardian Spirit
Yeah.
was the
Summoning the cool thing.
just having a big version of me. I
That
could also
would deal damage
have one
if it
with
came
like
close.
his butt hanging out or something stupid. It was just an embodiment of Cam, really.
And it
There's
was
a big
actually
statue.
the damage on it's pretty good as well. Like
Yeah.
it's purely mechanical because I can't not think of the mechanical side of things.
Yeah, so that and
Would you have? Here's one question: would you still pick Trickster Cleric?
I think I would.
Yeah,
Because I really like being.
It was dumb and fun. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
nice.
would like to have some threat to the
You
enemies.
got there in the end. Like I felt like he could still put out a good bit of damage and do some cool stuff. What about you,
Yeah.
Toe? Favorite ability?
Stunning Strike, whenever it landed.
Super fucking useful, but
Like,
it's
Holy crap,
that is
so
such a-
hard to land.
It's because a lot of the monsters you fought, things like
Stunning.
dragons and giants, it's like, I've got a +7 Constitution save. Oh, yep, passed that one. You know, when you go up to a fucking wizard and you're like, Stunning Strike, they're like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And
And,
that
then
was
also
the,
Legendary Resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a tough one.
That was so good. Like whenever that landed, suddenly like so many other
changes
things
fights.
I could do. Like,
It also just changes fights.
Yeah.
Like you stun a big guy,
Yeah.
they can't do anything for a whole round, and you can just be like,
Well,
blah, blah,
didn't
blah,
we
blah, blah.
technically save Cam with that?
Yeah,
Like,
like
he would've
multiple times.
Straight up, no, with Felania, fake Felania, you would have died if I hadn't stunned her, even though it
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of lifted because her turn was next.
That was really
She
close.
was just gonna boom
Oh, yeah.
like that.
That was going to be a double death.
So that was amazing.
Okay, so Stunning Strike for Juto.
yeah.
Reynard.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark.
Would you
I
still
think.
say Hunter's Mark and not Favored Enemy?
No, I was going to say I wish I could pick favored enemy.
Oh, okay.
To add to my character because that would have been really useful a lot of the time. Oh wait, no, he had it.
Yeah.
We did have
Yeah, he did
Oh,
have
there
it.
it is.
Also,
There it is.
in against, picking Giant as your favourite enemy. This Tom picked Giant without knowing anything
Yeah.
of my plans.
Just walked in.
And then a siege where loads of giants attack and a big arch nemesis sorceress giant.
Didn't matter though because he kept forgetting.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't remember why I picked giant, but anyway, yeah, I'm not really sure because I only went from 9 to 15, so I don't have a lot of as
The
much
early
as you.
levels.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I would have picked. Like I would have maybe liked to have given some of the other stances a try, like Storm and Metal.
Storm was really cool.
Like I kind of wish I went for Storm.
Storm's really cool.
To be honest.
Storm has this thing where basically when you make an attack, you get to basically like bamf over to somebody else and attack them, and you get to keep making new
should've
attacks
done
against
that.
them as
Like
the
Battle,
finisher.
Should have gone that.
What's the
It's very Dragon Ball Z.
No, what's the Battle of Middle Earth? Not that one. The Lord of the Rings game where you're playing.
Oh,
as a,
Shadow of Mordor, where
Shadow
you're
of
like
Mordor.
the
Yeah, you're like-
Yeah.
yeah,
Do the
it's basically
spirits.
like that,
I
but
do
with
wish
like
I'd
lightning.
chosen that.
So it's like bam, bam,
I think we
bam,
can
bam,
speak
bam,
for Katie and Lawrence.
Yes, so she did actually have
Moonbeam.
the answer for this, and
Right.
it was Moonbeam. Her
Yeah.
answer to everything was Moonbeam,
Moonbeam.
Yeah.
Moonbeam. She
Yeah.
loved that spell.
Sorry,
And then it became Sunbeam, or
yeah.
like Sunburst.
Sunbeam.
Yeah, fucking
Do
hell.
you want to do some
So good.
donos, and I'll find some more questions?
Marvin Kosh. Hey guys, loving the Q&A session. So many burning questions. Question for Kim. If Juto had been rolled as a barbarian like Kayla Ragehorn, what would her particular rage be like?
What do you mean? Like,
Like, how would
would
she
you
like,
rage?
How would you
How
embody
would it
your
look?
rage?
I mean,
Would she just go?
I'm
Would be-
pretty sure she just does that a lot in the Lightfall though, and that she would just get really well. Like when she first saw Korak for the first time, she just went straight at him to
Yep.
stab him, and just like, you murderer!
I feel like barbarian. There's a small barbarian in Kim at all times.
a lot of anger.
Juto would scream.
That swag elf. I know I haven't donated much, but here's to the last of the Lightfall. Can't wait for campaign 2.
July 1st.
P.S. What's happening next week?
I think next week me and you are at LARP, so it's
So I think we're
rebroadcast.
Yeah,
Rehosting
rebroadcasting
the
next
final
week,
episode.
and then it's showtime.
So get caught up on High Rollers.
It's not showtime. After
No, it's not
that, there's
showtime.
one more.
Oh yeah, we've got
Straight-
board
if
game stream,
If you
haven't we?
want to watch the finale with people next Sunday.
Yeah.
So if you're not caught up yet, now's a good time.
Another showing of it. And then there's
another stream.
Another stream,
And then
and
July
then July
1st.
1st.
It's the thing.
Yes.
1st.
Frankie Quinn. I'm going to steal it from you.
Frankie Quinn.
I don't have
I don't have a question.
Go on.
No, you don't.
Do it! As I'm
I
very
don't-
sleepy Friday because of an all-night party after my high school graduation on Friday, but now I'm free to plan my very first time DMing as well as playing in a friends campaign this summer.
Awesome.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Great hangover is the old D&D. Caden's Corner donated, hey guys, thank you again for creating such a great world that we all love.
You're
Now,
welcome.
what
I
happened
made
to
it.
Shalana and Pela? I need to know.
Oh,
That actually was one of my other favourite ships.
Things.
they
Yeah.
were great. Yeah.
Yeah, they just continue on. Like being elves, they live for a long time. Probably work alongside Allura and
They're
all the
probably
others
very
in
happy
Elite
with
Street.
the alliance that was formed.
Maybe there's like a double wedding of Shalana and Pela and Elistri and Allura.
I wonder if Cam
Double wedding.
ever got that Shalana was not.
I don't think so.
No.
I like the idea that he never understood. He's like, why you what? Like,
Doesn't make sense.
yeah. Go on, Tom.
Oh.
Still the last one.
Sharp shot. Hey there, people.
Double wedding. Yeah.
I always remember the part where Cam finally got rid of Dimitri with the help of the naked lady because Mark painted an amazing image in my head. What's your favourite of Mark's descriptions? I'll do that first before asking the next one.
I really like.
Get out of here, Hat Films chat.
The next one was also dogfighting opinions.
Big fan. Sexy. Mark's description when we were fighting the Yuan Ti and Napsnet came up.
Yeah.
But it still worked.
Thanks,
Snap
mate.
snack.
Thanks.
But the-
Of all my attempts to create beautiful imagery to encapsulate you in the game and to immerse you in the game, and the one you fucking focus and remember is the time I said nap's neck instead
freezing
of
hot.
snapped neck.
But snack.
Snip, snip. I really
beautiful.
enjoyed the imagery, and again, I keep going back to Vesuvius Blackmantle of when Cassandra saved Grunker.
When she like
Like
flew
when she
across.
kind of like encompassed her, and because
Dumped
otherwise,
all of her leg hands.
otherwise her neck was going to just blow off. Like, yeah. So I think
Dunzo.
the imagery you had, I thought was so strong of her just grabbing Grunker and just encompassing
Pumping,
her,
healing him.
Yeah, and
There's
just
a lot
like
of anime style
that was
things
great.
in
I
my
love
shit.
that.
Fighting pits in Brasaris. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, that goosebumps.
Oh.
Your speech.
It was the speech for me was really good, but for me the bit I got goosebumps was describing Adric's 6 fucking attacks.
Yeah.
And the
And
idea
then-
that every time he struck there was like a flash of Bahamut. Like,
Yeah.
So
Like
cool.
Omni Strike.
yeah, it was like such a
yeah.
like fucking anime Final Fantasy moment. I was
Oh,
like,
that
that's
was so good.
The other thing I really liked was when Trell, Tom wasn't here, you described his mask and the way that it kind of melted onto his face. And the first time he put that on was
And everyone, like you guys were like, what the
That was
fuck?
very well described.
The 3 eyes.
That was really,
Also
really
freezing
good.
hot.
Freezing hot,
Also,
yeah.
I really like the noises you make when you cast spells.
Yeah.
Are you being sarcastic?
I'm not being sarcastic.
Are you saying that that's
Let's just say Allura just cast Moonbeam.
Yeah.
Oh!
I love it every time Trell casts Eldritch Blast and you're just like Iron Man, like pew, pew, pew. Yeah.
I can't not make the noises.
Yeah.
Right, crack on with some questions.
So this is a Juto question. How did the two of you, Mark and Kim, work together on developing the backstory between Juto and Adric? Also, which side of Adric was made first, the real Adric or what Juto thought
cool question.
Adric was?
So
We didn't work at all
it didn't really work it. You basically, I told you that there was this champion called Korak that ran Talos Val because that was like in a document that I gave all the players.
Very general,
Like
yeah.
a general information of like, hey, when you're making your character, here's some things you would know. And you were like, I felt like it was like Kim going like, yeah, I'm gonna make it so that Korak was evil and killed my parents. And
Well,
so
also
you wrote
bear
that.
in mind that I thought that this campaign was going to be like a month.
Yeah, so you wrote, you were like, yeah, Korak was the one that killed her parents
Yeah.
and she hates him and she's after revenge. And obviously I knew, like, I was like, well, he's a good dude and I knew that he was like an exile and I was like...
Yeah.
And at that point, he didn't have a twin brother. So
Okay.
before you wrote that, he was just an exile, but I was like, no, he's a good dude, he wouldn't
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, but what if this is a case of mistaken identity and
Yeah.
he's
That's
using
cool.
that name and stuff?
Yeah.
That way, what Kim's written as her backstory is true,
It fits.
but then so is what I've written about the world.
Yeah.
They're both true.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was the best way to compromise on that.
Yeah.
Still keep my original idea, but also
As-
incorporate what
yeah.
you've written.
So Korak was Kim's fault.
Evil Korak. was
Evil
Kim's
Korak,
fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what
I'll
we're
take
saying
it.
is that Kim enslaved an entire race of
Yeah.
tieflings.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Darkness,
I'd say
no
that.
parents.
I mean, the Tieflings were enslaved before Korak came along, I should point out.
Oh,
The
okay.
Tieflings had been enslaved for
Yeah.
centuries. Because
Yeah, he'd always said
The
that.
Dragonborn thought that they were told that, like, oh, these guys are, like, descended from demons, they're going to rise up and kill us, we need to keep them in check. Like, the Chromats were basically like, oh, yeah, no, keep them in check, like, well, we want our slave. And so the Metallics are like, very well, honourable cousin, ha ha ha! Because they're dumb idiots, I love them. But yeah, so there you go, there's that one. Metamanu donated, thank you very much, generous donation. I can't remember if this question has ever been answered, I'm not sure. Why a NPC, was it Thariston, couldn't see Granomir? Thank you for the Q&A, it's really cool
was
to hear your
someone,
feedback.
wasn't there?
There's
Yeah.
a couple of times, and I always did it in the idea that Granomir was a familiar, and technically familiars are spirits, they're either fiends, fae, or celestials. And I always liked the idea that because Damir was this kind of otherworldly patron, he wasn't a god, he wasn't really anybody of any particular power, and a lot of his powers were in shadows and dreams. I always liked the idea that Granomir was kind of like a manifestation of Trell, like it was kind of like part of Trell's personality that he brought out, and so it wasn't a real thing. It was almost like a really complex illusion. I always liked that idea.
That's cool.
Like an
What else is
illusion
cool?
brought to
These
real.
dice.
Available now on store.yogscast.com.
What the hell?
I almost heard Sam just frantically just sit up in his chair, like, quick, change the camera.
Dice
link
cam.
in.
Dice
Whoa,
cam.
holy shit, these dice are great.
Right,
On store dot
question.
yogscast.com.
Okay, so this one, I know what your answer is going to be, but this one came up a lot, Trotto. In episode 14 and 15, it is revealed that Cam disguised as Wald to aid the group during the Broken Sky trials after he left on personal business, i.e. Trot was absent. How did Cam manage to participate in the trials?
Yeah, Trot. How
So
did
yeah,
Cam
basically
manage
they were
to
like, how did
sneak
Cam sneak into the Broken Sky with Trelly and me?
in? Yeah, how did you do that?
So
That question, that was probably number 5 on the most questions
Really?
list. Yeah,
I'm
really.
It's amazing what
Really.
people pick up on.
That honestly
I
was.
imagine Cam found the person that looked like Wold
Yeah.
already working to get in here.
Okay.
Literally clubbed around the back of the head, assumed
an
his
alley.
persona, and did the classic like bait and switch.
Okay.
And assumed his persona.
Nothing particularly fancy, just a good old.
He needed to
buckling
get
trickery,
there,
yeah.
and he needed to get there fast.
So
he
he
didn't
just
have a lot of
goes there.
time because he knew his friends were already down there
Yeah.
in this trial. He just kind of went for it.
Nice.
So that's it, really.
I like it.
Did you guys ever anticipate, imagine, or want to have romantic relationships with NPCs?
You fucking
Nope.
Cam tried to bang everyone. Of course he did.
Yeah, I did that.
Is that romantic though?
No, that's true.
It's more for I wanted Mark's reaction to a lot of these things. And
Yeah.
I had to play these out. But Cam would do that anyway. No, I don't want romantic stuff because I find that difficult. I don't like doing the softy
Feelings.
feelings and serious stuff.
Chris Trot doesn't do feelings.
That's why
Yeah.
Cam is the way Cam is, because Cam is Trot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juto was never interested.
Except you wrote your own love interest in.
Yeah, but that's the thing. She wasn't ever interested in anyone
Anyone
else because
okay.
she knows
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
got a
I
little
see
piece
what
back
you
at
mean, I see
home.
what you mean. I see what you mean. And then this one
This one.
surprised all of us.
Tough
I mean,
boy.
I agree with Trot. I don't like that sort of stuff either. But then Reynard and Grunker wasn't that. It wasn't like, oh, I love you so much.
No.
It was just her,
It was like
her
awkward
punching him.
and-
It was really awkward. And that's kind of how I go about relationships. Next.
DM time.
I'm so glad you're here, Tom. You make me laugh so much.
What about if Matt was here, huh? Trot?
Huh?
What if Matt was here?
Okay, we're going to move
be
on to
good.
some Lightfall lore
Yeah.
before these two kill each other.
Hit me with that law.
Okay,
Hit
so
me with
there
your
was a
law,
lot. There's a
master.
whole section on Lightfall lore because
Okay.
there's a lot of questions. Right.
Let's rattle through this.
What caused the Lightfall?
Very interesting answer to this one. I never came up with a reason. So it was one of those things where I knew it happened, and it was always going to be one of those things where if you guys did anything or you wanted to investigate why, or if I had a cool idea,
figure it out.
I'd figure it out then. But actually, to this day, there is still not a written, confirmed,
I genuinely
canonical
thought
answer.
it was Felania.
Yeah.
Someone shot a crossbow.
Until you
into the
found
air.
out, obviously, that the Lightfall also destroyed
Caused
her
Felania,
family and
yeah.
parents. Yeah.
I think
Caused
someone
her.
shot a crossbow into the air and really
Hit the
fucked
sun.
things up.
Yeah, they hit the comet. This giant celestial comet that passed over.
Watch
Bandai
this.
Ninsai has just in chat that Bahamut dropped his lamp.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, whoops.
Shit. What is the reason for the 46-year post-Lightfall time frame? Was there ever a plan to have something significant if it reached year 50?
No.
That's pretty cool.
No, there wasn't. The reason that it's 46 years is because I think that if I had used a round number, it wouldn't feel as realistic. Like, not everything happens every 50 years or every 100 years. I was just like, what's an average amount of time for them to, like, you know, establish a city and kind of build on the ruins? 46 years, that'll do.
Yeah.
And that's probably wrong. Like, you probably couldn't have built Talisman.
The lifetime of a halfling.
Yeah.
What would the effects be if a Dawn Shard and a Fall Shard interacted with one another?
So they would cancel each other out, which is technically something I forgot about in the final battle, but neither side really used, Adric didn't use his Full Shard Blade. Thingy's the only thing that kind of came off it was this kind of semi-Lightborn effect for Felania. But yeah, they should in theory cancel each other out. Actually, this is kind of tied into, I think, another question later on. I didn't use the Dawn Shards and Fall Shards as much as I should have. I should have had it like the Broken Sky would come equipped with like anti-magic arrows where they shoot you and it's like, fuck anti-magic. Like,
I thought that you, originally when we found the first Fall Shard, and
Yeah,
we
there
had
was
that
something
encounter
about
up there, and we
that,
had to deal with that, and that was cool.
yeah. And I thought it was cool too, but
And it really sucks they didn't put more in.
Yeah.
And I'm been disappointed ever since.
Yeah.
no, I agree. Actually, it's one of those things where that's the only thing
So
where
that's
I'm
your,
like,
your kind of...
it's just, and that was a pure personal error of just like, I kept forgetting about it.
I got so much to deal with. Like, yeah. What effect? I love this question. What effect, if any, would happen if you crushed and snorted Dawn or Fall Shard? We saw a big change with a piece embedded into someone, but what would happen if it went straight into your blood?
Boring, serious answer. It'd probably kill you, because it's super magic.
Same
shit.
goes with snorting anything.
Yeah. Don't do drugs.
Don't be
Kids.
putting that stuff up your
Yeah,
nose.
don't do drugs,
hole.
kids.
Don't snort
the thing with Felania, it wasn't
Fuck
necessarily the light shard that affected her. It was basically the idea that it was like permanent pain for like 40 years, death of her family. She couldn't pull it out because it's a Dawn Shard, so any healing magic to try and like, you know, open the wound or close the wound would just be more stronger, and so it would just heal her up. And I like the idea that it was basically, yeah, she was driven mad by grief and pain.
On which note, what would have happened if we had broken or removed the crystal from Felania's
this was a
back?
fun one to answer actually. So, you would have had to have used something like the Wish or Divine Intervention to remove it. If you had done that, she would have stopped fighting you, but the madness would have remained because it would have been there for like years and years. If you had then used things like Greater Restoration to remove her madness, you probably would have been able to completely talk to her and have her just completely stand down, because Felania was a good person once. She was a loving daughter who was basically told by her father that she was born for greatness, born to lead, had all these kind of like things pushed upon her, and then her whole world gets collapsed and crushed on top of her. She's in agony for 40 years. Like, all these horrible things happen. And if you had relieved her of that, if you'd taken all of that pain and anguish away, absolutely she would have. You could have stopped her without a fight.
Way to make us feel bad.
A lot of people in
geez,
chat are now
killed her.
raging because they're like, well, you could have saved her, guys. Why didn't you save her?
Well, I mean,
Because
come
also
on.
remember that this is a woman that had caused the death of their friends through the attack on Talis Val,
Yes.
threatened their home. You guys didn't know any
We were
of this
against
backstory.
time.
We
as well.
tried to talk to her.
You tried, but you know, ultimately, it was. And the thing is it was. And I said this to you. Sometimes talking alone, like making a persuasion check, isn't enough. You have to do something. And in this case, like, because you were thinking about removing the shards, you had this moment, and you were like, "We can't risk it. We just have to stop her." And that's an absolute fair thing to pick as a character. Like, sometimes it's like, I can take the moral high ground and try and talk to her and try and do the right thing, but at the same time, am I only going to be letting a greater evil happen by trying to do that?
And it wasn't guaranteed. I didn't know that.
It was
that would have-
absolutely. This is the thing. You guys
Solved
didn't
it.
know all of that.
And we had no idea how to do it either. Like,
Also-
thinking about Juto, like, the only thing I thought was maybe if I went into Void Stance and had double damage against an object.
Yeah,
but I
you
was
could've-
like,
and even then, like, you were trying, and I was like, if you rolled a 20, I was going to have you destroy it. Now, obviously, that doesn't remove it, but maybe there was like ways that could have worked into that and
yeah.
stuff like that.
And I just never got into a position where I could hit her with it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
But yeah,
Tried.
so, and this is the thing, I think a lot of people, especially chat for D&D streams, is you guys will have the benefits of hindsight. These guys, none of you knew what I just told you about Falania.
Nope.
So
I
the
thought it
idea
was
is that, like in the moment, you made the best decision you could for not just your characters, but for the people you were trying to
And
protect.
also, it's great to make the wrong decision. Too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what D&D
I think
is all about.
that's something that came up a lot in a lot of the questions was like, did you feel you made a mistake? Are there anything you regret? What happened to this? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you save this person? Why didn't you go after that? And it's like, well, guys, we're not perfect characters.
And this is something that came out of the back of the episode of Critical Role I was on. There was a big discussion about, because two of the characters had a character argument, and both sides had good points about what they were trying to do. Both sides also did wrong, like communicated badly and did wrong things, but the players were just playing their characters, and they talked about this afterwards, like, the whole point of D&D, the whole point of playing a role-playing game as opposed to a video game is to be able to not just make the right decisions, but to make the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Because that generates more drama, it generates more narrative, it makes it way more interesting.
And our characters aren't perfect. People
Characters
aren't perfect.
That's another thing. You know?
You wouldn't want to see us win all the time.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah,
boring.
and even
Like-
then, you guys still win most of the time.
You like Power Rangers, which is actually really good. Maybe we should just do that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's just one of those things where I think like people watching it, they expect you, especially people that aren't used to RPGs, they want you to make the most optimal decision. Because if you think about a video game, that's what you're meant to do, right? You're meant to make the right choice. This isn't
perfect.
like that. This is like just a story. And sometimes in stories, characters don't always do the right thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and that was something that came up. Somebody asked me a lot of like,
Mic drop!
oh, why? Someone was like, oh, what do you think about Juto's moral code? Like, 1 minute she'll be telling off Reynard for killing an unarmed Broken Sky agent, but then the next minute, like, I don't know,
She's like
murdering,
pummeling someone to
pummeling
death,
someone
yeah.
to the ground, or like telling off Cam about being so flippant about Dmitriev, but then setting things in fire in a corner. And it's like, she's not perfect.
Yeah, she's a hypocrite.
I'm not
Sometimes she
here,
could be a hypocrite.
Yeah, I'm not here to play a perfect character. I, as a person, am not perfect.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you are.
shut up.
Right.
But yeah, we're
There's
not
that
perfect.
one. Long answer.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
shut up, Tom, with that
Yeah,
compliment.
okay.
Going on.
I think you're all right too, Trot.
Did you realise that you were going to narrate your own epilogue for the final episode, or did Mark just spring that on you unexpectedly? Did you plan out your epilogue ahead of time, or did you improvise off the cuff?
Were you surprised when I was like, what happens to your characters?
I think we had a talk beforehand about it being a.
We expected some epilogue. There was talks of an epilogue, but I forgot about it. And then I
Yeah.
had to think on the spur.
It was
I
pretty
wanted
spur of the moment. Like, it
wanted
was
there
like,
to be an
I
epilogue.
might have you guys do this.
And I'm glad it was a 5-year time skip.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was happening, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit like, well...
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
it was a nice opportunity to think of like, give it some time. What would your character do in a world of peace?
Yeah.
When you're not rushing around having to save stuff.
Juto wouldn't know what to do.
And that's pretty much what you were asking was.
Yeah.
Like, just carrying on. Cool.
Donations.
Yeah.
Read
Metamanu
that one.
read that one.
So next.
So
Arameth.
Arameth, given that Brasaris is so resource rich, can Raise Dead be used on the other NPCs that can't be raised with funds for the diamonds? If the party are willing to buy them, sure.
But how long do you
It's
have?
not that the resources, Talos Val has diamonds, like
But-
Dawn
but-
Republic has
You got
diamonds.
10 days.
10 days, so how can we raise it in 10 days when a city has been decimated?
Also, we made a big point of not resurrecting
not
like
fair.
10 people and then not everybody.
Remember that, like, yeah, like
And
your
only a certain
average
amount of
person and
people
stuff.
can raise dead.
Yeah.
So that's...
Only you and Lady Amaryllis.
so
and
two people can't
Laura
bring
can
back the whole
reincarnate them.
city in 10
Yeah.
days.
So there you go.
And they have a 10 days time limit.
Yeah. Nautilix donated. Love the Q&A. My question, who was the group's favourite guest or guest character to work with, e.g. Falk or Alex Smith? Also, sometimes I wish someone would make a book of Markisms like Napsnack, similar to the Meaning of Lift book. Thanks.
One day.
Favourite guests?
I actually really enjoyed the one-shots that I did. I really enjoyed Duncan. Like, he was so funny because the second one we did was like Cabin in the Woods, and we had this whole thing where his character would be a ghost, but none of the other guys would know that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I thought he really played into that really well, and he was basically a stoner wizard dwarf.
Oh, it's basically
Like-
Duncan then.
Yeah, basically Duncan, but dead.
Yeah.
And I thought he was really funny with that.
There you go.
I think
So-
for a sweeping statement, they were all great because they all took it seriously, and that's what I didn't expect as guests come in. I thought they'd be relatively.
It's what we kind of actually said to everybody, wasn't it? Like I tried to say, Smith I think was the biggest surprise, but I think Smith respected the fact that this isn't like our home D&D games where it goes a bit crazy.
Motor Hobo.
And he was just like, no, I want to play a cool character and be involved in the universe.
He surprised me too, and I think he was very good.
He surprised me asking
everybody was
Juto
good.
questions.
Yeah.
Like,
No, Smith came in and he wanted, because he knew
Yeah.
that Dragonborn was related to Juto's backstory. He wanted
I was
to do
thrown by
RP
that.
stuff.
I was really thrown.
But I think everybody was great. I think you're right.
Martin was amazing. I thought he was great as Falk, and he just
And
kind of went
hey,
with it.
Campaign 2, there's definitely going to be some cool guests.
Oh, there is actually a question as well. Who is your dream guest for all of us?
Oh, hang on.
Donald Trump.
Don't know.
No.
Banned from my table.
Who would be your dream guest?
I don't know. I think someone that respects the game, not just someone thrown
Yeah.
in because they're a celebrity.
Oh, really?
I said something very similar in my answer to this.
Oh.
Yeah, so Vin Diesel.
He legit loves
the game.
D&D.
Big
he
Show,
loves it.
sure.
Big Show loves the game.
Joe Manganiello, sure. Any of the guys that went to the Stream of Many Eyes is more than welcome in my eyes.
They certainly.
Any of the Crit Roll cast, absolutely. Any of the Adventure Zone, any of Dice Camera Action, Girls Got
Just
Story.
naming all the people
All
you
of
know.
them.
Num.
Any of them. They can all come along for free.
Any other celebrities that maybe haven't gone to stuff like that have an interest in D&D? You got like Dame Judi Dench.
Doug Cockle,
Colbert.
Huh? I don't know who that is.
the voice of Geralt of Rivia.
Okay.
That would make
that
me
guy.
Oh, there you go.
very hard.
My mum really wants to.
You'd like to have your mum?
Well, she loves. She always
She
loved
watches,
it when I did LARP.
Yeah.
She loves hearing about our adventures. She doesn't have time to watch it.
Maybe we
but
should
she does genuinely.
I think
Yes.
we should have Mama Richards.
Yeah.
I think we should have your mum
She
on.
loves. She
What
always.
if Mama Richards plays? Ah.
Oh shit!
That'd be pretty great. That'd be pretty great.
I'd be
Tune
so
in
much trouble.
July 1st.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
not that,
Tommy,
but-
so you're saying voice of Geralt?
I mean, I think just the same as Trot said, just anyone that cares about
Respects
it
the game.
enough.
I said the exact same
yeah.
thing. I said the thing is like, sure, getting famous celebrities whose like movies and stuff I love would be great. Dwayne
Yeah.
Johnson coming in would be incredible.
Yeah, like I'd love
But-
to play with like some of the McElroys, but holy crap, they would not take it seriously.
No, I found that out GMing for Clint. That was
Yeah.
really fun. But no, like I said the same thing. I want people that were going to respect the game and respect
Yeah.
the fact that it's it's a cool story.
We don't want
And
to
be
be so
imaginative.
distracting.
Yeah. Having somebody, for me, it's any of the other GMs. Having Chris Perkins or somebody like that
yeah.
come in would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
because like they never get a chance to play, and I know what that's like. So
Yep.
cool.
Do we want
Yeah.
questions or donation questions?
Watch out for some guests.
Do a
in,
donation one.
C2.
Jet Bulk Cart Matt donated. Hi guys, I love the campaign. It's helped inspire my first character, a moon druid, Emereth Silverrain, an exile high elf prince who's become an alcoholic after killing a good aligned young dragon. What are some of your favourite funny character moments?
That doesn't sound like a funny character moment what you just described.
I think
That sounds devastating.
it's Noodle Dick.
Did Juto have any funny moments? Probably the
Why
pregnancy
not?
stuff.
Okay.
Smiling.
Yeah, the
Smiling.
Juto smile is
yes.
funny.
Juto
Fairhorn
smile.
family. That
Fairhorn
entire-
family?
Yeah.
Great.
Juto.
He's
Nice.
dead.
He's dead.
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 He said. What about you, Marcus?
Rip.
I don't know. There's loads of funny moments. Like I think like Thariston was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, people loved that. And
Yeah.
Baltier was great. And,
Yeah.
yeah, there's loads of funny moments.
Florent.
Florent, this question is from Mark. Hey guys, finally catching up at the end of Lightfall now that summer break started. Now that I might actually run a campaign on my own, what is the foremost thing to keep in mind when writing a campaign as a first-time DM? My advice to this, I have covered it a little bit on Tabletop Weekly. Start small, generally. Plan out, like I said, like for high rollers, I created Torfield. I created some adventure sites around it. I put some interesting NPCs in there. And then I had loose ideas about the rest of the world. That's all you need to start. You just start there and let the story expand outwards. If you try and do too much, you're going to be overwhelming your players with information they don't need.
Also, if you
Unless you're trying to write a campaign guide and like a full campaign,
Yeah.
then you need to start big and then go down. But for playing, just start small, build outwards.
locking it in also puts you into a dangerous territory of you are listening to my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not your story, it's
It's
everyone's
a
story.
collaborative effort.
Yes.
And you've got to allow some flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the best moments will be improv.
So if you don't come
Yeah,
up
they
with
really
it,
will.
then you won't be annoyed or frustrated that it didn't go your way.
Yeah, that's the thing. Try and keep it open. And then Varys, no question, just a quick donation to once again say thank you for this amazing series. Well, thank you very much,
Thank
Varys.
you very much.
Hit us with some more questions in the doc. Kim.
Were there any storylines, arcs, or decisions that you were super surprised or blindsided by? That's for the players, and I guess for the
I mean, they can't surprise
Any
me. I wrote
storylines, arcs, decisions that you were super surprised or blindsided?
because I wrote them.
Do you know what? Actually, the whole Wald is Cam thing.
You didn't see that coming?
I didn't see it coming. And then, because remember, like, Juto
Why was I sat at the table?
Because I didn't really understand anything. Because I'd done Torwen, hadn't I? So I
Right.
thought you were just standing in as a temporary
Oh,
character while we did this and then went back up to the streets. You know, so I thought Wald was just a temporary character. So that's why I was just like, push him in front, you know. And then, yeah, when you start getting eaten by the jelly cube, I was like, oh, shit, that's Cam. You know?
Yeah.
So that surprised me. Yeah.
Simulacrum. That was
Yes,
Wow.
that was good.
It's one of my
Son
favorite
of a bitch.
reveals.
Yeah.
That was a real, like, I had that waiting in the wings for so long. Nina knew about it. Like, Nina knew about the Sky Castle hovering above Talis Val and the Simulacrum for, like, weeks. And she was like, oh, man.
She's done that.
Man.
Like her face sometimes where she's like, It's like, tell me. And she didn't. She didn't.
Yeah, the Simulacrum was really good. Because, like, I knew that, again, and that's the benefit of having players who don't necessarily know D&D super, super well. You guys, none of you guys knew that spell was a thing.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Like, it was
Nope.
like...
Nope.
Totally
no idea.
blindsided.
Yeah.
No idea.
You fucked us there.
And I guess the whole, Vesuvius turning out to
That
be...
was funny.
Yeah.
That was a fun moment.
Did Juto ever go back to Arborea for Cam 2 the chinchilla? I'd like to think that maybe she went on a little holiday with Cam and Myrella. And like
Goes to visit.
We go to visit Guan Yin and tell her what's going on and get my little chinchilla back.
Yeah.
And maybe get some more little chinchillas too.
All right.
Well, that's fine.
Chinchilla Sanctuary.
Yeah. That's what she's doing. She's
Yuan
running.
Yang and Juto run a chinchilla sanctuary.
Nice.
Did Cam ever have feelings
There's
for
a would be a good place
Cassandra?
for him.
Absolutely, yes. He fancies everybody. And particularly people that have similarities to him. So
she
the
was-
Lightborn team.
She was dedicated to Bahamut, I'm afraid.
I know,
Bahamut.
but apparently Shalana is dedicated to the other one. I can't remember. her name.
Taylor.
Palar.
Lesbians.
Palar. Lesbian.
I'm in lesbians with you.
Nice.
What was your favorite bit of RPing you guys did in the campaign?
Favorite bit of RPing?
Adric's speech for me.
Yeah.
Delivering
Yeah.
that was like a real like.
Bumpies.
I like doing the original performance.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Where you made me kill you.
Yes.
And Trixie Anya is like fucking with you at the side and
Yeah.
stuff.
And I actually
Funny.
liked the fucking up as well.
Yeah.
So that was great.
That was good. That was a good moment.
As a group, I really liked when we were trying to convince the elves and the flying elves and the I can't remember
the centaurs,
Centaurs, yeah, to not fight each other and fall in love. Like it was just a mess.
Such a clusterfuck.
It was so close as well, apparently, but even before like the love potion. But like, holy crap, that was really good. It was such a mess of ideas.
I like that I drugged your dad.
Oh yeah,
that
pretty
whole
funny.
like getting into like getting the safe, getting the letters, that was
Yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
Meeting the Ferrohorns.
I enjoyed that.
Meeting the Ferrohorns.
Anything to do with Crown Rend, on a serious note, I enjoyed all the Crown Rend.
I
RP
love doing that
stuff.
with you, like
yeah.
just being that little voice, like
Just whenever you said like, little demon, I was like, don't talk to me.
why are you wasting your time with these fools?
he still doesn't know. And I'm like, leave me
Nightmares.
alone.
Nightmares.
Oh, shut the fuck up. If you could have stolen an ability or a spell from one of the other characters, what would it be?
I'd still Cam's Nat 20.
Wee.
Penis!
nice.
Blight.
Blight, yeah, it's got to be Blight.
I really like Blight.
I take fucking Moonbeam or Sunbeam
I kind of have that though.
sunbeam.
or
Holy
wild
shit.
shapes in
Yeah.
general.
With Void Stance, I kind of have a
I'd just be a
beam.
druid, I think.
Yeah, man, like that void beam, like,
Yeah.
like did you max it out on that last encounter?
I
Like, use all
still had
couple of
6
because
key
you could have
points.
spent up
I
to
keep
8,
thinking
right?
I should have kept going.
Because you could have made that like something crazy, like
Yeah.
12d6, like
I wish
special
I
beam
had.
cannon.
I
Yeah.
wish I had as well.
was
Would
really
he have come back if I just completely blasted it out and like because he had a little Lightfall
Yes,
ability,
yes.
didn't he? So
What?
he had something.
He had something. Yeah, he had. It's an ability of the fighter,
yeah.
I think.
So would you have let him come back if I
Yeah,
just
no,
like,
he does because it's not disintegrate.
Okay.
So.
Oh, actually,
Disintegrate is also a friggin' great spell. That fucking Disintegrate on Adric at the end, the 9th level
I
Disintegrate,
felt
126
so sick.
points of damage. If I had done that to Juto, dust.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally dust.
Just dust.
Not coming back.
I would've taken-
Imagine if I'd done
God.
that to Adric. Imagine if she, not only would Adric be dead, you couldn't resurrect it.
Yeah, because there's nothing.
There's
but
nothing
dust.
left. Like, what would you guys have done?
Cried.
I felt sick when you did that. I was
fucking great.
so sick.
Oh boy.
What do you think would have happened to your characters assuming the wagon wasn't attacked after leaving Greybell? Or, in Tom's case, if the council never approached Reynard?
I would have still gone to Talis Val because I had that writ to do the performance, and I would have done that and probably made my way in Talis Val somehow, being a performer.
Juto would have always gone there because she was looking for Korak and she'd heard that that's where Korak was. Matt actually answered this and he said, I would have still gone to Talis Val because that's because I was on that bloody goose chase for the bloody mask.
And it's written in the same way that Matt would have said it.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, it really
That
is.
bloody mask.
That bloody
He
mask.
talked like Rimmer.
I probably would have fled Talis Val when the siege happened and died in the process.
You would have run with the family because the family wanted to run away.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
would have just left.
And they
tried
probably
to
would
get
have
out.
died while fleeing because
Yeah.
he wouldn't have learned
Bravery.
bravery
Courage.
and how to
Friendship.
fight properly.
Emotion.
Damn.
And, yeah.
So yeah.
Any
Reynard
deci-
unlocked the power of courage.
Any
the power of
decisions
hearts.
that you made, even if the result didn't end up being what you wanted or expected, you still wouldn't change? I guess we kind of
We've kind of
went
covered
over
that stuff
yeah.
like that. There's been a lot of questions.
Dimitri, yeah. Did stuff you guys learned playing your spin-off campaigns influence how you played in the main campaign? I mean, more in understanding role-playing or character writing that you might have picked up, not so much just the mechanics.
I think for me, I reinforced my notion that I should never play intelligent characters. Or
I don't
once-
know. I think you did very well
Taran
with Dead
was
Reckoning,
great.
man. Like,
Yeah.
Not Taran.
He was
Oh, fucking six risky flames.
No, the bird.
Oh, the bird. I didn't even remember the bird. I was like, oh
I was
yeah, that
trying
guy.
to do like
Rip.
mathematical calculations and shit and speak them out loud, and I was like, I just can't do that, so I'm not going to try.
But no, I think that
just
like
gonna stick my
Taran,
head
like
into a
that's
sphere.
one way of playing intelligent. Taran was quite calculating in that like you were like
He was
planning
brutal.
stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
And that was really well done. I thought you handled that very, very well.
Thank you. There might
Taran's
be-
actually one of my favorite of the side characters, of the side stuff that we've
Well, look for July 1st, where I'm probably not-
Taran 2.
Taran 2.
he's
Question
not playing
from
Taran.
Mark, all caps, why did you kill Barris?
I didn't kill Barris. I didn't kill him. The party sent a young, like 5th level ranger with the illusionist to deal with a bunch of hobgoblins carrying magical equipment. And then I rolled some percentile dice, and the percentile dice killed Barris.
It's our fault.
Yep.
Whoopsie.
So don't blame me. Right, you're looking for a question. Not Alex donated. Cheers, guys. Question for Mark. Were you ever tempted to put in a dedicated murder investigation arc like Adventure
did.
Zone's Train Murder or Pratchett's Man at Arms? Yes.
Live show.
We kind of did with the tieflings.
Not the same.
Murder.
Yeah,
but-
this. I think what they mean is like a proper.
Murder.
There's been a murder, and there's clues that need to be found.
I mean,
and
we kind of
solved."
did that with the live show.
Again,
I
very
know,
rushed.
I know that was
yeah.
a very short one, but
I would like to. I really love murder mysteries and I love heists. They're one of my two kind of favorite framing things for an adventure. So maybe you'll see one in campaign 2.
nice.
Do you know what one of my favorite things right now is?
What?
These high rollers dice.
Jeez.
Hold
In
the
this
bag
nice
the right way.
velvet
All right,
bag.
calm down, Sam Regal.
Emmy Award-winning.
Here's an interesting
Emmy,
question.
sorry, yes, correction. Emmy award-winning Sam.
What direction and changes to the campaign do you think would have happened
Damn.
if Adric had died from his assassination attempt? Would the game have just included a resurrection story for the party to go on? Would the party have even cared all that much with having only just met Korak not long before?
It's an interesting question.
So yeah, if Korak had died after the Feast of Stone, what do we think
What
we
would
would
you
have done?
have done? Would you have tried to resurrect him?
Yes, but I didn't have the ability at the time.
I don't
Well,
think-
but then you
yeah.
didn't have it for when you got Juto back, so you would have had to.
Yeah.
Had to
find somebody.
find a way. Yes, we would have absolutely done that. I think.
I think Juto would have definitely wanted to have done it because even though she only just met him, he was the only link
Well, you
she
had the
had
letter.
to finding real Korak. She didn't know
Yeah.
what was going
Also,
on. So.
to make a point, Greater Restoration and Raise Dead are the same level spell, so actually you probably could have done that. You would have had 10 days to try and find like a way to resurrect him.
So I think we
find the
definitely
scroll.
would have gone on a.
And in fact, there was a scroll of Raise Dead, a day's travel from Talis Val.
Oh,
Well,
you cheeky bugger.
And because this is the end of the campaign, it was in. Do you remember that tower, the ruined tower?
Necromancer's Tower.
The Necromancer's Tower.
Oh, the one that we skipped.
yeah, so that was probably the only thing which I planned in detail that you never went to. There was basically a puzzle in the kind of ruined tower. There was also a chimera that was going to make you fight. And if you had solved the puzzle, it would have unlocked like a secret lab underneath.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of stuff in there. Like I basically had it so like, if they need a scroll of raised dead, there's one in here. If they need this, there's one in here. Blah blah blah. Or there's this treasure, and you would have just got a bunch of magic items.
Okay, so that was the one that we went past as we were going to Veldebar.
You went past it twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam probably pissed on it.
Well, yeah.
Oh, this was one I wanted to answer on stream. Going back to Crown Rend, how much did Kim know about this item at first? I didn't know anything. I literally knew nothing.
You literally saw it, and it was like.
I was going to leave it there.
Looks cool.
Yeah. I was going to leave it there because I thought it was an ambush. I thought it was like a trap because it looked really evil and weird, and we were in a very dangerous place.
And it was.
Like, yeah.
In many ways, it was a trap.
Oh, it was a trap of the mind.
I'm going to read this. Dabadies, I've already read that one from Nautilix. Dabadies, whatever happened to that Adventure Explorer League guild you were leader of, Tom? It was an offhand comment from your first episode. Was it a lie?
Oh, that was what I was trying to get as a result of helping you guys in Veldebarn, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
then
then you failed.
We've technically failed Veldebarn.
So they didn't get
and
to
the
you.
council shifted as well, so I was then never able to actually get it. I feel like he's got Greybell now, like...
Yeah.
That's it's a bigger adventurer's guild.
Suckers, that's
yeah. I think he got what he wanted. He's master of the hunt. He doesn't need an adventurers league anymore.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a few more minutes.
Should we do some quick fires?
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to do...
Sam, I've read those two, Nautilix and Dabadies.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to post
these up.
Mark's answers. That's why I've stayed away from your questions mostly, because I think I'm just going to post all of your answers up.
Yep.
But for the rest of us, general questions, quick fire. Would any of you play characters of the opposite gender in the new campaign?
Potentially.
I don't think I would, because I would
not for
do
everyone.
the dumbest voice.
Nah, it's not for everyone. I find it very comfortable, but not everybody does.
Are we allowed to talk about the thing we're doing?
We can say that there is a possibility we'll be doing another mini-series for Wizards. Let's not talk about it in too much detail.
If we did another mini-series, I'm probably going to do a dude.
I'm gonna play a dude.
I'm going to be a dude. Yeah.
There you go.
We have a pretty good idea.
I'm just going to windmill everywhere.
You usually have come up with an idea, have you?
Yeah,
Nice.
we got a great idea. For the players who haven't played D&D before this campaign, what were your initial thoughts of the game, and did you think you'd get into it as much as you did?
That's a cool question.
Tom Hazel.
I did not listen to that question. Sorry, this was a quick fire round. Go again.
As a first-time player of D&D,
Yes.
Did you
what
think
were your
you would
initial
enjoy
thoughts
it?
of the game, and did you think you'd get into it?
I knew I would get into it. I knew a lot about D&D already. Having played like so many MMOs, I haven't had, like not specifically D&D, but I played so many MMOs and so many RPGs that I just knew the kind of thing it was. I didn't expect it to be so open and free as it was, if you know what I mean. Like,
You thought it'd be more like structured?
yeah, I thought it'd be more structured, linear, and just kind
Serious.
of like that's why I was doing so many stupid moves in combat, is because I could.
Yeah.
It's just like if I was playing an MMO, it'd be I can attack, I can,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm shooting them a couple times. But in this, I could shoot them while roundhouse kicking them in the face.
Yeah.
Nice
That's cool.
answer, Tom.
Yeah.
Quick fire round.
Mine's pretty much the same. I didn't expect this to happen, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I thought it was a lot simpler. I thought D&D was a lot simpler, and I think a lot of that is down to Mark, just being an amazing DM,
Oh, thank
and
you
a lot
guys.
better than other DMs.
10 out of 10, might play again.
I've had a lot of practice. I've had good DMs. My best friend Harry, we used to DM for us back at school. Really cool guy. And because we played with each other, like a lot of problems is a lot of people become the DMs that they had. And obviously if people have a bad DM, they
they hate the
bad
game, yeah.
habits. We never had anybody. So really, me and Harry were making it up when we ran it for when we were kids. And then I started watching Ack Inc. And so I learned from Chris Perkins, and then I learned from Matt.
I learned from Chris Perkins
Yeah.
from Ack Inc.
Yep.
And that's how I saw
learned
D&D
from you.
first.
That's the whole, yeah.
And
so-
even Yogscast.
Yeah.
Just understanding
I didn't
that
really
that's
watch
the
that,
thing.
but yeah.
But yeah.
Was there any chance that the players, if they wanted to, could have joined the Broken Sky instead of siding with Adric and Talisval? That's for you, Marku.
I mean, yeah, the campaign would have just continued. Like, obviously, it just would have flipped around. I imagine that you guys would have quickly learned that the Broken Sky were really bad dudes. And I imagine that characters like Elora and Cam especially would have gone, we're not okay with this. You know, when you start finding out about, like, the torture and the slavery and, like, let's kidnap kids and steal their magic Lightborn powers.
Yeah, that was pretty dark. Yeah.
Vassilar donated, "Hey guys, love your stream so much. Gave me a final push to finally start playing D&D, and I thank you all for that." Question for Mark: can the other races be Lightborn or just humans?
So I put this in the actual Lightborn thing. You, in theory, could be like an elf who is a Lightborn, but you wouldn't have the attributes of an elf. You would have the attributes of a Lightborn. The idea of it was more definitely tailored towards half elves, half orcs, half humans. Not half humans, humans. More than anything. But yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't, as long as you're willing to accept that like you don't get the traits.
Can you be their DM forever?
No.
Nope. Sorry. He's our DM forever.
I'm their DM forever.
Yeah. What would your group hero name be since you saved Talisval and Brisaris?
Yeah, you guys never came up with a name. There was no Vox Machina moment for
I don't
you
think
guys.
we've got big enough egos that we would come up
Ferrahorn and Friends.
Wow.
Whoa! I do not second that statement. I love Vox Machina and the Mighty Nine. Fucking.
What?
No, I'm just distancing myself from
Oh no,
Kim's
she
outrageous
means
statement.
every person has a
what did I just say?
character.
You said
Sorry.
we don't have the egos to name ourselves. And like the crit roll cast have like names.
I don't fucking
I
know that.
You don't. I know it's funny.
We would be Ferrahorn and Friends.
But
next.
I mean, I genuinely mean, like,
Cameron
Juto
Friends.
doesn't care. Juto doesn't give a shit about
Cameron
that.
Companions.
Laura's got other
know
stuff
you'd
to
say.
do.
I do like
I know
Take
what
your
you
hate
mean.
and shove it over
I know
there.
what you mean. It's just funny.
Companions.
we were the
The
companions.
companions.
Oh, fuck.
That's pretty great, actually. Yeah. No, I'm kind of down with that. The companions.
All
They,
right.
they've suggested Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
But I'm not there.
I imagine that these two, Cam and Reynard would come up with names.
Yeah,
like
Ferrahorn's
that.
Friends.
But like Alora and Juto just
one,
wouldn't.
One half he calls it the Ferrahorn and Friends, and you call it the
Companions.
Companions. Which one is real? Nah.
Meanwhile,
Companions is
Juto
better.
and
I'll
Alora
have to think of
getting
something
on
else.
with life. Okay, this is a fun one. Your characters have been invited to Reynard's wedding to Grunker. What crazy shenanigans do you see going down at such an event, and which character is to blame for what?
Cam's to blame for all of it. Grunker probably kills him.
Sweet.
At least beats him to like near death.
He hides in a barrel. She throws an axe at it.
I like
Yeah.
to think
Yeah.
Lady Amy gets drunk for the first time and has like and is like Patrick's like trying to
Turns
control
into a
her.
dragon
or
and
like her
destroys
like,
the
Yeah,
place.
turns
or like
into a
parts
dragon.
like she'll like turn around and like her tails come out and she's like smashed over loads of tables and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, and then like the tail goes away.
I don't need to go home. You
Yeah,
need to go home.
Yeah, do the classic, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there's chaos going.
Sit down, my dear. Sit down.
What would Juto do?
Reynard would be crying in the corner at all the chaos. I just wanted it to be a nice day.
Yeah.
I'd probably
Drunk is like
sacrifice
beating
something.
up cans, like,
I'd
like
leave
in a bridal. I love the
chinchillas.
idea. I love the visual of like Grunker in like a full wedding dress, like beautiful dress, just beating the
She's
shit
got
out of
an axe
Cam,
in
like
one
Into
blood
the cake.
splattered,
In the
like
cake.
yeah, exactly. Like
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
I
love
think
that.
Juto would be like
love
giving
that image.
chinchillas to everyone.
as a gift.
Like she'd just have a
Thanks.
chinchilla, have a chinchilla.
And put that on my pile of
have a
chinchillas.
chinchilla. Yeah.
No, they're not for you. They're for the guests.
Well, I,
Yeah,
guess.
Juto's helping.
everyone,
I just
yeah.
feel like every week she'd come over and just bring another chinchilla.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple more and then we'll wrap it.
What was your favourite location in Iraq?
Oh, shit. I did like the Underdark. The Underdark was cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I just like the visual of the Underdark.
The Underdark,
Like
this
huge
kind of crazy
mushrooms
cavern, and yeah,
yeah,
Winterspire.
everything's kind of, yeah.
Winterspire for me.
Winterspire's cool.
New Light.
Oh, I
The
really
Ramshackle
like
town.
First Light or New Light?
Yeah, First Light was the actual like ruined Fallout mega city.
No, not the
So the
ruined bit.
ramshackle
The,
New Light.
New Light,
the-
yeah.
Where we were kind of met the big guardian and he was scary.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the ruined city. That's
Yeah,
the
the
big
ruined
metropolis.
city.
Yeah.
New
That.
that particular
I like
like.
First Light is the ruined city.
I like First
okay.
Light too.
Was it the chapel that we went into there, where all the snack people started?
Yuan Ti?
Yuan Ti. They
Yeah, it was like
started
one of
hoarding
the, it
the
was like
place?
a main sort of like commerce
Man.
building.
Fuck, I love that moment. That was
Cool.
That's a cool moment.
There you go.
I'm going to read a couple of more donations. Vassilar donated. Hey guys, love your stream so much.
You read
Gabe,
that
you
one.
read that one?
You read that
Yeah,
one.
read that one. The Game Guy donated. I learned from you, Mark. Seriously, such great inspiration. I hope you realise that you're the Chris Perkins to many people. Well, I don't think that's true, but thank you very much. Talwyn Greenwood
Better
donated.
believe it.
What?
You best believe it.
Oh, thanks.
Because people paid money to tell you that.
They did, but I still don't. But
Well.
yeah. Mark and Kim, because Juto did cooking, what are your opinions on Ganassi animals and their use in cooking, such as air Ganassi bird, fire Ganassi... What? I don't understand.
Never heard
they
of it.
have different types of animal?
To
That's
cook?
not a thing.
Never
in
heard of it.
Our worlds, yeah. Sorry. Don't understand.
Something to think about though.
Sith Lord Chimichanga donated. I've been watching you guys since about 3 months after you started and have recently started playing myself. I just want to thank you all for the amazing adventure. My question for Mark is about how are you going to work in the Sun and Spring Spires? So the Sun, the Day Spire, the Sun Spire was in the Unbroken Empire. so that would have connected into some of the stuff going on there. The Spring Spire, I never had a fully formed idea with. I had this idea that because they're kind of the spire that's all about healing and fertility and raising kids, maybe something around that, like a disease or something, but
I would
it never
love
got
this
fully
spire.
formed.
Just been
Canada
one big
fucking-
fuck festival.
Could we have taken those?
It's
like,
more about raising the kids and like safe sex and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's very
I hate
healing.
that.
Could we have done
Boring.
anything to save those poor Lightfall kids, Lightborn kids that got their souls taken?
Yeah, I think basically like if you had gone after them straight away, probably.
But was there anything we can do afterwards to like give their souls back?
Not that one. There was most of them you did save, like you
Yeah.
kept most of their souls intact, but there was that one who basically, was
Gone.
fucked.
Damn.
Okay. Here's a good question to go out on.
Yep.
What did you learn about your own life by role-playing your character, or in Mark's case, long-term NPCs, for over 2 years, and what impact did they have on your life?
Shit. I kind of know already.
Do you like grapes?
I mean, yeah, I'm like old,
Yeah.
so I don't feel like I learned anything from them, but
I just
I learned how to deliver a really cool speech.
played on what I already have,
Yeah.
really, and just pushed it to the
That's what a
next
lot of
level.
people do.
Dialed it up.
Meanwhile, I'm young and malleable. I learned
Nubile.
the power of friendship. Nubile. I learned the power of
Nubile.
friendship and
Working as part of a
and
team.
working as part of a team, and not to do drugs and to stay in school. And also, safe
that.
sex isn't boring. It's good. Ignore what I said when I said boring.
Where
about
did you
safe
learn that
sex.
in this campaign? With
From the
these
Spring
characters?
Spire.
Just then.
Thanks, Tom Hazel.
Right.
Kim,
I'm back to
Oh,
Campaign 2, right?
boy.
did Duto teach you anything?
I don't know. How to smile.
Yeah, you do it so good as Duto.
I think she taught me. I think one thing I
Not
learned.
to dwell on the past.
I think one thing I really enjoyed was the escapism, to be honest. I really enjoyed coming here every Sunday and having a place to be someone. It was actually an email that you sent me very early on when I did that whole, like, what the fuck am I doing with Juto? I don't have any idea. I've never done RP before. I feel like I'm holding you guys back. And you sent me an email back going, this is your chance to escape and try things that you would never do in real life. Now, not just the kind of, set things on fire and stuff.
Mount a dragon.
But, like, yeah, just be confident and be... I don't know, just be...
Own your mistakes.
Yeah, own your mistakes and like, or even make mistakes.
I remember actually that was one thing, early on you were very...
Unsure.
When you made the mistakes, you really dwelt on them. And I
Yeah.
think it was like Trot saying like, that's okay. And I think that's when you started to learn that like, you're not a perfect character. You don't have to be a perfect character. You can be flawed.
It's better if you're not,
Yeah,
actually.
and I think that really helped actually going forward in all areas of my life was just kind of, just having a little bit more confidence to do things.
So now you're a
you know.
criminal, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do things you'd never do before. Like
So-
rob a car.
Like Robert Carr. So I think the other questions,
Download a car.
Kim's going to post those up.
Yep.
So we'll post those up on subreddit,
There's a lot.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's the easiest place to post them.
Somewhere.
So post those on the subreddit so you can read some more stuff there. If you do have a question about like Lightfall in the world, you can always swing it to me to Twitter. I don't promise I'll answer it, but I like talking about stuff. And who knows, maybe if there is a way, I will one day make an Iraq source book and
That
stuff.
was a big question that came up actually.
Am I
was
gonna do it?
Yeah, are you going to do it? So tell people your thoughts about Lightfall.
So the thing with this is the last thing we'll talk about. So it takes a lot of time, and the artwork is very expensive, and it can't just be like, oh, Nina and Harry can do it because they have jobs, and you have to account for their time. So we need to make sure that there was definitely going to be enough people would buy it. I have to make sure that if I'm going to spend that amount of time working on it, which is basically a full-time job, I should point out, even though I've got a lot of the notes, they're very rough, they need to be worked into something actually publishable. There needs to be a way of me making sure that I'm getting enough money to live on and stuff like that, because it would basically mean that I can't make YouTube videos. It would mean that I don't do like the hack film streams. It means that I don't do like my own streams and stuff like that. It'd basically be like my full-time job for a while. So yeah, it's just finding a way to make sure that happens. I am talking to Mike and the Yogscast about ways that we can maybe figure that out. But yeah, it's kind of up in the air at the moment, so.
People are suggesting Kickstarter.
That is also another option I was considering. I was considering running a Kickstarter to raise enough money to basically pay for my time and then all the artwork and stuff like that. Because luckily I know enough freelance artists and people that could work on it. People like Joma, people like Kit Bus, Casey, and a bunch
I'd
of
help
Wendy
you if
Doodles
it was
and
a bit
stuff.
writing.
Yeah, and and things
I'll
like
draw a
editors
picture.
and stuff as well, like hiring some like proper proofreaders and things like that, and people that know formats.
Yeah.
On top of that,
It's an option, and it's something I am looking at.
got campaign 2 to worry about as well.
And
Yeah.
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Campaign 2 is now the new focus. With Campaign 2, I am working on it with the intention to publish, which is not something I had with Lightfall and Iraq. So this one, I'm actually writing stuff now, and I'm doing the build
Organized.
out and drill in. So that will be easier. It's a lot more work for me, but it will make it easier to publish something in the end.
I think at the moment as well, we're cautioning Mark not to do too much because we don't want you to burn out creatively and just
stop.
die of death.
Yeah. So
Before we go,
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying in chat room, you were going to talk about Tre Lamar's future.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so people want to know about this. So the problem is so people were saying like, would it be possible for the party to save Tre Lamar? The answer is yes. However, it means going up against Asmodeus, who is basically a god. So we're talking like they would need to be 20th level. They'd be going into the hells, like fighting all the way through the 9 hells to reach the bottom layer, get to the throne of Asmodeus. They'd be fighting Helamar.
Hellamar, yeah!
I've heard that one. I got that
good.
from chat. So they would basically be fighting the two of them. This would be ultimate epic level, big huge battle. And if they took Lady Amy and her relic, which has the ability to break pacts and bonds, or a wish spell, either way,
Maybe
they
that would
able
be
to do that.
the party's last hurrah.
Going to try and
It's
save
like, let's
Tre Lamar.
all get back together and do this.
And it would not be easy, but perhaps it is something that they could
Would it
try
be like
for their
Tomb
friend.
of Annihilation level of hard?
Way harder.
Oh,
like
shit, I
I'm
wanna
talking
do it.
like Vox Machina versus Vecna, and you had to fight all the way through hell to get there.
That sounds real hard.
It's
We
real
do it
hard.
like in 10 years' time, we're like a little bit washed up, but it's like, we got to do this.
Yeah, and you'd be I would imagine
Coming
that like
drunk.
Yeah.
you guys probably because you guys ended the campaign at level 16 because I
Yeah.
would imagine you level up from saving the fucking world.
Man, I gotta do my stats.
So you'd be level 16, so you'd probably go to the hells, and then you're fighting through the 9 hells is what gets you to level 20.
Shit,
And at the end,
that's cool.
But there was no way I wanted to do that. Like
Yeah.
for me, like that level of D&D is a lot of fucking work, and I'm like, nah, I can't be doing that.
Can we just I don't know.
No, I
look
think
in
that
and just-
I think that is something which the
So-
fans.
Just say please.
Nope. I think
So-
that's something the fans.
If
could
that
one
was to be
day
something
think
that
about.
you want to run, playing as our
it.
characters, saving Helamar,
Helamar.
Do it.
go ahead, level 16.
But we've got new things to move on to.
Yes,
And that's
and-
the last thing to talk about, I guess.
This is the very last thing to wrap up Lightfall.
Yeah.
So campaign 1 is done, and
Yep.
we've talked
That's
about
it.
it, and we've answered your questions.
That's it.
Now everything from here on is hype and
Get
build
hype!
for campaign 2.
Get
Yeah.
fucking hype! July 1st, brand new campaign.
And a build up before that. So make sure you
So
follow our
much
social
work.
medias.
Yes.
At High Rollers
100%
D&D
follow us on Twitter, at High Rollers D&D.
for all your information.
Keep an eye out for some more channels where you can get more information coming out soon. There's going to be some videos
It will resonate
leading
from
up
Twitter.
There's
Yeah.
some little surprises coming.
Yeah.
and some big surprises and some
We've
little ones.
mentioned that it's the campaign world is called Erois. It is a completely homebrew world. This is one thing I want to get clarified. I want you guys to spread this message, right? Brand new characters, brand new world,
Yeah.
brand new campaign. It is not related to Iraq. It's not related to the previous characters at all. This
You
is all
do
brand
not
new.
need to have watched Lightfall.
Biggest
so
thing.
we're getting a lot of that, despite the amount of times we tweet about it. So if you see anyone tweeting or redditing or anything anywhere about,
saying,
do I
like-
need to do what?
Yeah.
Watch Lightfall?
Or
No.
like- yeah, or people saying like, oh, I want to watch High Rollers, but there's so much. This is the time to
Yeah.
get them watching.
Spread the word,
Yeah.
peeps. We
July
need your help.
1st.
We need your help to spread that word.
It's going to be really good. Erois is a completely homebrew world, homebrew pantheon of
Going
gods.
low level again.
Yep.
Level 1.
Level
Two.
2. Level 2.
Level
It's
2.
going to Level 2.
Oh, okay. That's done.
That was a question, actually.
I knew
People
about it.
said,
I knew about it already.
people said what does it feel like going back to level 1/2?
Well, you'll find that out because we're not going to take up too much time. 'cause we're out of
I've
time.
never done it.
But yeah, so check that out. It's going to be really good. There's going to be information coming out. I guess the last thing I will leave people is a bit of a teaser because I want people to get hype. I want people to get hype about it.
Whoa.
Erois, I want you to kind of take kind of mental images of things like Final Fantasy X, the idea of like, the mixture of high fantasy with little touches of sci-fi. And that's what that's the little thing of like, I want you to start kind of picturing some of those things in your head, and you'll find out a lot more about Erois in the build up to campaign 2.
Damn. I
Man.
can't wait. Neither can you.
Hype!
Join us next
So
Sunday.
next week,
fortnight from
and
now.
we are doing a rebroadcast, and then the following, which I think is the 24th of June, we're doing Dust City Outlaws.
Dust City Outlaws.
That's what we're doing, and
I'm DMing.
Chris Trout is DMing.
Yep. And this will be our last stream then before campaign 2.
Yes.
1st July.
Yep. Last very quick thing I want to plug. If you've not seen it on the Wizards D&D channel, you can check out my Stream of Many Eyes game that I run. You can also check out all the off-the-table stuff that I did. And I also want to say a really big thank you to everybody who sent me Kaliana fan art as well, because I've got nearly 80 pictures of stuff I've sold.
Wow.
I've saved, and it's amazing.
Another big thing is we're going to be doing more often fan art. So it needs fan art to make videos. So if we go in saying there's going to be a lot more fan art videos, hopefully that
need
encourages
fan
you.
art.
Well, I think we'll give people like maybe the first 2 episodes and
To
then just
build
go
up.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll try and make them
Get your
way
crayons
more
ready.
common.
Yeah,
So,
especially all of you amazing artists out there. But yeah, get hype, spread the word. Campaign 2 starts July 1st. You don't need to have seen anything beforehand. Brand new characters, brand new world, all completely custom content. There's going to be new races, there's going to be new class stuff, there's going to be new homebrew rules,
I
new
wrote a thing.
monsters. Kim's written some stuff. These guys are hopefully going to do some stuff. Everyone's going to do some stuff.
It's going to be
We'll see you then.
Big announcement.
the best.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.